The Valero Alamo Bowl, that is, has announced it will be played on December 30th this year, 8 o'clock in the Alamo Dome. It will be televised on ESPN. This marks the Bowl's first December 30th game since 2013. NBA Finals finally underway tonight. The Indiana Pacers in OKC to battle the Thunder. Tip-off for Game 1 at 7:30. You can listen to it right here on 94.1 beginning at 6:30.
SportsCenter is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Joe Reinagel.
And for the third time in 7 seasons, the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Well, it's a great Thursday in San Antonio, that's for sure. What a great day. I'm going to tell you what, I was having a great day. I'm Joe Reinagel. Jason Minix is here. James Pledger as well. This is 94.1. Until I saw a headline in the Houston Chronicle, Jason.
It's sign of the times in this business that we choose, but it brings up some questions about how do you consume your local television? Now, the headline in the Houston Chronicle says Houston's Fox affiliate is eliminating its sports department, with anchor Will Kunkel announcing his departure from the station on Thursday. So he posted on social media that he was out blindsided by the move, and according to Will, they're eliminating the entire sports department. Now, the station said in a statement that they're not. They'll still cover sports, just with news people.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. So if you watch Fox in Houston, what you're going to see is news and weather. And if something's happening in sports, they'll have a reporter out doing that. There will not be a sports cast. That's what they mean. They're going to eliminate covering sports. They'll do that. They'll just do it with news people. And I think it is a sign of the time, Jason, with local news, the way that it is. They've been trying to eliminate sports and local news for a long time.
How many more minutes of weather do we need?
I have no idea, man. I have no idea. And I don't get it either. And I really don't. And I fought this battle for years. And I know you have too, to some extent. But in television, they've been trying to get rid of it, depending on what news director you have. Right? Some news directors are pro-sports, some aren't. And, man, I fought my battles with some of them. And it's like, well, people can just watch ESPN. I'm like, dude, yeah, sure they can. But they're not going to give you what we're going to give you.
Well, and local sports talk radio. I've been doing this show for 17 years. Mm-hmm. And common questions. Well, what do you do after football season? All right. What do you do after bye? Off season is a lot more entertaining at times than in season.
It is.
Everybody is a better general manager than the dude with the name on the door. That said, what about Jaylen Brown to the Spurs? See, we can get into that. We can have all kinds of fun, throw this spaghetti on the wall. But you know what? Sirius XM, that's going to kill local radio. Yep. It didn't. You know why? Because Sirius XM, all those shows, ESPN National, I don't care if you listen to Dan Patrick, Colin Cowherd, doesn't matter, any of the shows. You want a lot of New York stuff, you want a lot of L.A. stuff, that's your thing. You want Cowboys, Longhorns, Aggies, Roadrunners, you ain't getting that from those guys. And even from the Cowboys' perspective would be the one. Houston Texans, did you ever hear about them? I mean,
not at all.
Local radio has survived on the sports talk radio. Look at this station and how we've grown over the last 17 years. Then I look down the hall in our building. There's a great station called KTSA. And I've joked for years that KTSA stands for Keep the Sports Away. You do afternoon sportscasts over there.
I do.
You used to do a minute. Now you do like 38 seconds. And can you shorten that up, Joe?
Yeah, you just pop, right? I just need the.
We need more weather.
Need the details. And that stuff. But you know what? They're not going to get rid of it, because here's the deal, and they're going to find out at the Fox affiliate in Houston that that's not going to work. Unless they're going to go totally and concentrate on people that aren't sports fans. Because I know KPRC in Houston is a monster, and they cover everything, sports-wise I'm talking about. And so you're not going to be able to compete with them, and maybe they weren't anyway, and that's why they decided to do it. It's the same way here in local news. KSAT, they cover everything. They do. Ken's is got a great sports reporter in Nate Ryan, and then, of course, there's obviously the Godfather with Don Harris. and they do a great job. So it's going to be difficult to eliminate sports from local news for a long time.
Although, and you just brought up something. I wonder if the Fox affiliate, and I have no idea how the TV wars go in Houston, but if Will Kunkel was a one-man show,
yeah,
and that's certainly a possibility even in a market the size of Houston, because I look at our old friend from San Antonio, or she spent a lot of time here, Jill Jelnick, works for the Fox affiliate in Nashville, and she is a one-man show. And what I mean by that, photographer, anchor, reporter, I mean, she does it all.
She has no help.
And yeah, no help whatsoever. The idea that if they eliminated that, all right, can you send a news photographer out? Can they get highlights? But you just wonder if they're just getting their butts kicked so much, what's the point? They can't beat the other guys. I look at, back in the day, and when you were still on TV at Ken's, it was, in my mind, it was Greg Simmons, it was Joe Reinagle, it was Don Harris. And, over at KSAT, they don't even do instant replay anymore.
Nope.
I couldn't tell you if Don still does a show on Sunday night. Is he
believe
still?
He does.
Okay.
Yes, he does.
And at Ken's, you guys never did a 30-minute sports show.
Never did a Sunday night show.
You were the only one. Everybody else did. You guys didn't. I don't know why, but,
I used to pitch it all the time.
You did? I would have required you to work more.
I know, but I didn't mind back in those days. It was fine. It's crazy. But again, sports in local television has kind of been the forgotten thing for a long time. And except in San Antonio. San Antonio is that market that will resist the change as long as they possibly can. And I say that because of the people that watch. People here in San Antonio still like local news. They like the whole format, news, weather, sports. And so some great folks here, and I think San Antonio will be the last to ever get rid of or make a change like they did in Houston today.
Although I do wonder, because we can all get scores from the major teams on our phones pretty easily. But I don't know how many. I'm not this guy, but I know, like, my good friend Rob Thompson has like 9 weather apps. You have a handful of weather apps.
Oh, I've got one. I've got one.
Now, granted, Rob, when he was driving riverboats, he needed all the different weather apps. I use what Apple gives me on my iPhone. I don't have my own fancy weather app because I don't care. That's not my thing. But I think it's easier to find weather information than sports information when you look, especially. And I know in Houston, even though it's a big city, San Antonio is a big city, but like local high school sports, the amount of UTSA talk that, we have, especially during football season, there's an appetite for that you can't necessarily find on your phone. So why a weather guy, and let's pick on Bill Taylor, needs another 3 minutes to tell me about, I don't know. Like the other night, I was watching News 4 for the first time in a while, and I have no idea what the weather guy was telling me because he was talking about this zone and that zone, and I had no idea what his zones meant. Like,
depends on what zone you live in.
Well, but I don't know what zone I live in based on his little. I mean, he put up one zone, and I thought he was showing like the Las Vegas desert. I have no idea. But he was on forever, and I guess because he has so much time, he had to make up zones.
I suppose, and I think they try to localize that and make it a little different than everybody else. Look, with my good friend Bill Taylor, he's such a great personality that people enjoy watching him, and I think that's what – look, it goes down to any of us that were in TV. You watch the people you like to watch, the people that you related to and you like to watch and you like their style and all of that. Whether it was me or Greg Simmons or Don Harris or Chuck McIntyre, it didn't matter. You watched who you liked and who you wanted to watch, and it's still the same today.
And I look at, like, for me, it was, all of you back in the day, I used to record every newscast on the DVR and then watch them just to make sure I didn't miss anything locally because, again, there's a lot of stuff you can't find at ESPN.com or Yahoo.com or CBSSports.com, especially when it comes to either Spurs coverage or local colleges or high school football, especially when that rolls around. Because even the way I do high school football games now versus then, I know there's a lot of people that are listening to the game that could care less about the two schools playing, but they want to be updated on scores.
Sure.
We do more score updates now than we ever used to.
Well, and that's the beauty of it, and that was my best night was a Friday night because we had obviously an extended segment, and I enjoyed it, and you try to make it fun, and I know all the guys do, and so that was a big part. And there's a perfect example of something that you're not going to see on ESPN. You're only going to see on your local affiliate, and again, and I used to make the comment all the time. Look, I when the Spurs were on their gigantic run, when they were dominating everybody and winning championships, you didn't get the in-depth coverage of the Spurs. You're going to see highlights on ESPN, but you're not going to get the interviews and the stories and everything else locally that we had access to those guys that we could do.
And let's face it, even when the Spurs were good, and they will be again. Let's go back to 2013-14, because I know that we used to bitch about the national coverage. It was all about the Heat.
Yeah.
And except for when the AC went out. Then it was about the building.
Poor LeBron.
But, it was what went wrong with Miami in 14. Not putting the Spurs on. It's just one of those things that this story, it bothers me.
It bothers me, too.
As a sports fan. But then again, I think about how I consume local television now. And most of it is clips online.
Well, that's true, and social media has changed a lot of things as well. But it is what it is, I guess, and it surprises me, but yet it doesn't. But I'm with you. It kind of leaves a little sick feeling in your gut a little bit that you see somebody beginning to do that. Hey, we're happy that you guys are here, that's for sure, and we appreciate you spending part of your Thursday with us. You want to get a hold of me or Jason, you can do that on Twitter, at Jason Minix, at Joe Reinagle 210. If you're watching on YouTube, we appreciate that. You can like and subscribe to our YouTube page. You can comment there as well. And we got a lot to get into today. The UTSA Roadrunners, speaking of local sports, they are headed to Los Angeles. In fact, I hear they had a big rally, Jason, out at the school today about 1 o'clock before they went off to the airport to fly off to La La Land.
Good.
So it was good. It was good. So we'll talk a little bit of UTSA baseball. Plus, finally, did anybody realize the NBA season was still going on?
Well, yeah, we had a nice spring break. Now we're ready to play games again.
We're ready to go. The NBA Finals begin tonight. Pacers, Thunder. Who you got? We're talking about it when we return here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
You guys are just some funny fools, man.
You can't drink all day if you don't start first thing in the morning.
Good job, Sound like y'all are drinking like it's happy hour. It's almost 9 o'clock in the morning.
It's ironic. And, Daryl, if you have a weakness for the sauce.
It sounds like Uncle Tito showed up a little early there this morning.
The John Clay Wolf Show.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
Looking for a place with character, cold drinks, and real Texas charm? Pull up a chair at the Lion and Rose in the Dominion. This local favorite, run by the Tharp family, serves up Southern hospitality, military pride, and seriously good food. Happy hour daily from 3 till 7 p.m. with $2.50 drafts, select wine, wells, and mimosas. Plus, tasty bites from just $5. Big screens, bold flavors, and a patio made for post-game hangs. Now open at 23330 West I-10. The Lion and Rose.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it. But not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to Hims.com/joy. HIMS.com/JOY.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at EnduranceWarranty.com.
If you're driving a car or truck with an expired warranty and suddenly lost your transmission or needed a full engine repair, would a $4,000 repair bill leave you stranded? I'm Danica Patrick. Don't get caught off guard with a vehicle breakdown. Choose the company I trust, Endurance. No matter the mileage, if your vehicle is less than 20 years old, Endurance offers auto protection plans for any budget. Protection on the drivetrain, electrical, transmission, AC, and more. Plus 24/7 roadside assistance and rental car reimbursement on any plan. Endurance handles everything, from making the claim to paying the certified mechanic of your choice. Act now and get 1 full year of elite benefits, a $2,000 value, free.
Call for your fast free quote today. Call 800-298-2007. That's 800-298-2007. 800-298-2007.
This Father's Day at Lowe's, score free gifts for the greatest dad. Right now, get a free Blackstone 8-piece accessory kit when you buy a Blackstone 28-inch griddle. Plus, get 2 free select Craftsman V20 tools when you buy an RP brushless drill and impact driver combo kit. Shop these deals and more this Father's Day at Lowe's. We help, you save. Valid through 6/15 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-230-2777. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-230-2777. That's 800-230-2777 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-230-2777. 800-230-2777.
Hello, I'm Joe Cordell, founder of Cordell & Cordell. Divorce is complicated, especially when your small business or professional practice is involved. At Cordell & Cordell, we understand that these assets raise unique valuation and allocation issues. For 35 years, we've helped doctors, lawyers, and small business owners navigate divorce with confidence. Call us at Cordell & Cordell. Let me tell you, I understand on a personal level, your business is much more than a job. It's your legacy.
San Antonio, Austin, and St. Louis. CordellCordell.com.
Testing.
We're live from Chick-fil-A.
This is Grant.
And this is Laura.
And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich is that sweet bun.
And that chicken filet was perfectly crispy and soft at the same time.
And that Smokehouse Barbecue sauce, it's a lot of fun. And the brown sugar bacon definitely had a little bit more pizzazz. Also, the mac, one of the all-time greats. Man, I'm getting hungry.
Order the Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich and a Coca-Cola on the Chick-fil-A app for a limited time. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Holy cow, it actually happened.
Of course it happened.
What's wrong with the Steelers?
What do you mean?
Those bums.
I think he's a bum. I got to tell you, as I'm searching Twitter for this news, there it is. Underdog Fantasy by 2 minutes over everybody else, by the way. Aaron Rodgers has informed the Steelers he is going to sign with them before next week's minicamp.
Wow.
Aaron Rodgers, officially a Steeler.
Unbelievable.
He's at least informed the Steelers.
Well, he could change his mind before then.
No.
Well, the rumors were today, and in fact, I was reading it that they were going to were already talking to about trading for Kirk Cousins.
Mm-hmm.
So with the Falcons, but I'm just saying. So maybe Rodgers heard that and he said, "Well, I better go.
Well,
I'm going to play."
And I guess it's a possibility. Maybe it's the deadline. Adam Schefter just tweeted out, Aaron Rodgers plans to fly to Pittsburgh this week and will participate in the Steelers' mandatory minicamp next week.
Maybe it's that last mushroom he ate last night. They finally got the clarity, and he said, Pittsburgh. Oh, okay, let's go.
It'll be a one-year deal, according to Ian Rappaport.
Interesting. Very interesting.
At long last, the 4-time MVP lands in his best spot, is what Rappaport.
Boy, that's what he's saying, and I guess that gives 1 year for Will Howard to get his act together and see if he's the quarterback of the future for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So Aaron Rodgers in Pittsburgh, that makes things a little bit interesting. I'm quite shocked that happened, but I guess I shouldn't be, because the Steelers kind of waited around for him, and he finally let him know that he's going to grace them with his presence.
And that's what it boils down to. And it makes the most sense for both. It really does. And for a one-year deal, don't you figure everybody could be on their best behavior and you could tolerate a lot of stuff for a year if you're Mike Tomlin? And who knows? Because I do believe Aaron Rodgers and Aaron Rodgers' ego did not want to end his career, his Hall of Fame career, the way things went with the New York Jets. And you look at that Pittsburgh Steelers team, some of the weapons that they have offensively, that defense, yellow pants, all of it, in a lot of ways, kind of the situation that Tom Brady walked into in Tampa Bay. Now, I'm not saying that they are an automatic Super Bowl team with a quarterback of the caliber of Aaron Rodgers, but they're a lot closer. Every team builds until they can find a quarterback, or you got a quarterback and then you add around it. Pittsburgh had everything but the quarterback. Now, with them losing Pickens, you wonder, but you look at DK, you look at that running game, Mike Tomlin, I like this move for the Steelers. I've liked it all offseason. I expected it weeks ago, though.
Well, look, for Pittsburgh, you're getting down to the point where you had to do something. If it was going to be Kirk Cousins, you had to trade for him. You get Aaron Rodgers, which is a pretty good deal, especially if he comes in and mentors their young quarterback that they drafted this year and gets him ready. That'll give him a year under his belt to work with a guy like Aaron Rodgers, and hopefully he'll be ready to roll next year. So, well, good for Pittsburgh. We'll see how it works out for them. If he stays healthy and he can play up to the caliber he was playing with the Jets towards the end of last season.
Oh, and that's it. And again, I don't know that anybody is going to be surprised that this is what Pittsburgh is doing. And quite frankly, they have telegraphed this forever. And even at the owners' meetings a couple weeks ago, the Steelers ownership, we're giving them all the time in the world. Will he get caught up? I'm curious now about some of the veterans in the locker room. Now, he'll be there for the mandatory minicamp, no trip to Egypt. But when you look at this, will he be accepted because he hasn't been there the whole offseason, Or was he as completely honest with them, like he has suggested in some of his podcast appearances, that there were some things going on, and by all accounts, more than one person in his inner circle is dealing with cancer, and he needed to be there for them. And if he was honest about all that with the decision makers in Pittsburgh, and they understood, and they had some sort of an agreement, and he's had a playbook, maybe he's not all that far behind, and everybody inside the building knew what the plan was, and maybe there's something contractual-wise that you needed to wait till after June 1st to sign this deal. I don't know. I mean, we were going over the Jalen Ramsey contract earlier because could the Cowboys make a trade for Jalen Ramsey?
That's the rumor.
There's so much complicated crap in these things. But I know timing has a lot to do with it.
No doubt about it. And I'm kind of with you on this. I think there had to be a plan in place. They were just they weren't going to say anything, but they were going to give Rodgers some space. But he kind of, that wink, I'm going to come, just give me a little time and we'll announce this thing. Had to be that way, I would think. Because otherwise, you would think Pittsburgh might start to panic with a rookie quarterback and then Mason Rudolph. So they never did. Never seemed to waver, so they've got their quarterback for this year, and we'll see what happens. And, if Fred Records on our YouTube page, Jason, says Rodgers is not a mentor, I don't know. I think he can be, and I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt because he knows he's got 1 year left, and he's going to make the most of it. And I think part of his job, and I hope Tomlin talked to him about this, and they have an understanding that, I need you to put this guy under your wing and help him understand the NFL.
Now, I will completely disagree with Rodgers is not a mentor. And I say that because Jordan Love speaks very highly of his relationship with Aaron Rodgers. Zach Wilson with the Jets speaks very highly of Aaron Rodgers. And we saw some of that in Hard Knocks, that Aaron Rodgers, because Aaron Rodgers walks in knowing he's the guy.
Sure.
Aaron Rodgers isn't worried about trying to beat out Zach Wilson or Will Howard. He's the guy.
What about Mason Rudolph?
Who? Like I said, Aaron Rodgers knows when he walks in, he is QB1. And, Mason Rudolph is one thing, but Will Howard teaching him how to study, how to take care of his body, how to do ayahuasca, all those different things Aaron Rodgers can teach him. He'll be glad to. And the fact that Aaron Rodgers dating Poole is at the same age as Zach Wilson, so they had a lot in common. In fact, Aaron Rodgers might be dating a little younger than what Zach kid. But you know what I'm saying.
Sure.
I disagree with Rodgers is not a mentor because you've got too many guys that say otherwise, including a guy drafted to take his job in Jordan Love. And we saw it with Zach Wilson. So I would also imagine on a one-year deal, he knows, and maybe there's a second year, maybe there's another team down the road. I just think for Aaron Rodgers, the way he played at the end of last year with the Jets when he was, a little more than a full year after the Achilles injury, the dude put up good numbers last year. He can still play the game at a high level. I just didn't see him ending his career the way it did with the Jets.
That will see how it goes with Pittsburgh. For Will Howard, not only does he have Aaron Rodgers, but let's face it, he does have Mason Rudolph, too, to kind of guide him along. And I know Rudolph has never been a successful quarterback. He's been in the league a while. So it's a good spot for Will Howard, I think, and you don't have to rush him in right away. At least you hope you don't have to do that. So Aaron Rodgers going to the Pittsburgh Steelers today. He's going to join them for their minicamp next week. That's going to be exciting and certainly add a lot of drama to the NFL season, no question about it.
I can't wait to see the numbers on his one-year deal. Because remember, it was
That's
on,
right.
I forget which podcast, but he said, I told all of them, I'll play for 10 M's. I can't wait to see now what is the actual contract 1 year for Aaron Rodgers. Will it be a $10 million deal? And I would imagine if it is fully guaranteed, or if it's 25, 30, 40, which is what you would expect for a starting quarterback.
Well, I mean, once I heard that, if I'm Pittsburgh, I'm saying, here's a contract for 10 M's. I'm sorry, 10 M's. Here it is, and sign it.
And I will say this. I would certainly imagine the NFL schedule makers fully expected Aaron Rodgers to be a Pittsburgh Steeler. I just pulled up out of curiosity their schedule for 2025. They do have a game over in Europe, so that'll be on national television. They get the Vikings. But then they have back-to-back weeks where they're in prime time against Cincinnati, on the road against Cincinnati. And how about this? Now tell me, the 8:20 games, is that Sunday night or is that Monday night? 8:20 Eastern. I don't know what day, but either way.
I believe that's a Monday night game.
That's the Monday night game?
I could be wrong.
So either way, October 16th, if you can just look at the calendar real quick, October 16th, they're at Cincinnati, prime time. October 26th, against the Green Bay Packers.
Oh, wow.
On national television. So you're telling me that the NFL didn't expect Aaron Rodgers to sign? When you think about the Green Bay Packers playing the Pittsburgh Steelers in a game that's going to be nationally televised?
Now, is that game in Green Bay or Pittsburgh?
It's in Pittsburgh.
In Pittsburgh. The storyline would have been even better had it been in Green Bay. That would have been fun.
A schedule maker's wet dream. Are
Yeah,
you kidding?
absolutely.
I mean, but still, it's going to be so 10-16 is Thursday night. So the 26th, is that Monday Night Football then?
So what day are we looking at?
26th is Sunday night.
Oh, so see, Sunday Night Football, which is a great lead into Don Harrison Sports Sunday, which apparently is still alive. So you think about the ratings on that Sunday for Don Harrison Sports Sunday following Green Bay and Pittsburgh, the Aaron Rodgers Bowl.
That's going to be a lot of fun for old Don.
It is.
Yeah.
He texted, Sports Sunday is still very much alive.
And well. He was questioning your zone knowledge.
Dude, I've got a full education on the weather zones.
Now you know, huh? Do you know what zone you're in?
The Central Zone.
The Central Zone.
Why don't they just call it the San Antonio Zone?
Dude, I don't know. I don't know.
Because apparently Kerrville's a lot colder, and they got a lot of viewers over in Seguin.
Well,
the Eastern Zone.
Oh, well, that's good. I'm happy to hear that. That's good. Seguin's a fine town. Nothing wrong with Seguin. Good for them. Well, Don will have fun, so that'll be a good time. So, again, if you're just joining us, Aaron Rodgers is a Pittsburgh Steeler now. He will join them I still believe that. He will join them for mandatory minicamp next week and let the drama begin. That is
Drama?
fantastic. Drama.
Well, the excitement level in Pittsburgh.
I wonder what the excitement level in Pittsburgh is like.
If you're a Steeler fan, we need to hear from you. 210-656-ESPN.
I know one of those guys.
656-3776. You can tweet at Joe Reinigal 210. Tweet at me at Jason Minix or comment on the YouTube page there at San Antonio Sports Star when you go to YouTube.
Well, as he normally does, Aaron Rodgers steals the headlines, and he stole our segment plan. But we're going to get back to that right now because we're going to talk a little NBA basketball. The NBA Finals get underway, and they get underway tonight. Oklahoma City and Indiana, Game 1, game you can listen to right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. This is the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
You know, summer is here. Time for gatherings, friends, family, activities, vacations. The last thing you want is low testosterone draining your energy. Answer is simple, TRT. Head over to Synergenics and Low T Center and get tested. Go to fixmylowt.com to get that scheduled. Never a better time to start TRT than right now. The consultation is free, the T-test is free, and it's fast. They have an on-site lab to process your test quickly, and if you qualify, you can start treatment that day. Convenient locations located all across San Antonio. Now, you might see some of those online TRT services, but honestly, you can spend hundreds of dollars and you waste a lot of time. Unreliable test kits, waiting for days to get those lab results, and that's before you even start treatment. You also get to meet with a doctor, or they say that. Sometimes that person isn't even on screen. Not the quality of care you deserve or want. You want to trust the experts at Synergenics and Low T Center. They have been changing patients' lives for a combined 25 years. They understand what guys need. They are in person, and it's easy to get started with the quality of care you deserve. And again, in person, or you can even choose medically monitored custom dose TRT at home. And if you're just looking to lose a little bit of weight, Synergenics and Low T Center, they make it easy with prescription weight loss medication. You'll also receive a free B12 shot on the same day. Most major insurance is accepted, so you have no excuse. Go right now to fixmylowt.com and book that initial appointment. Fixmylowt.com.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Friday on the Morning Huddle, we made it. We'll celebrate appropriately. We got finals, we got hockey. What else we got?
Well, Rob, there's other sports in the world. We'll have Dick Girardi on talking about the Belmont Stakes and UFC pay-per-view this weekend. We'll hit it all. Don't worry. Party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Morning 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Have you ever closed your eyes and pictured owning a piece of the Texas coast? Ocean views, world-class fishing off of Matagorda Bay? Well, dream no more. This Saturday, June 7th, Driftwood Shores at Wolf Point is dropping the final release of these incredible coastal properties. We're talking 1 to 3 acre properties, all with ocean access for just $49.9. You heard correctly, $49.9. This gated community has a waterfront resort-style pool and cabana, your own boat slip and launch, even boat and RV storage, plus paved roads and underground utilities. It's the whole shebang. It's all happening this Saturday, June 7th. 1 to 3 acres with ocean access, just $49.9. Yes, just $49.9. Call now for your private tour at 210-853-0389. Excellent financing. Don't wait another minute. Call 210-853-0389. That's 210-853-0389. Texas coastal land has never been this affordable.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
Every success you've had began with a great opportunity. Now there's another one. Last aid year, University of Maryland Global Campus awarded over $21 million in scholarships to qualified students, including community college students, service members, veterans, and working adults. Now is the time to move your career forward with an online and accredited skills-based education. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chef.
Imagine selling your home and getting paid before and after it sells. It's like getting paid twice. Jason Minix here from San Antonio Sports Star. You can do that with Orchard. Orchard puts cash into your pockets. You can buy your dream home. Then your Orchard experts prepare and market your old home, including repairs, showings, even price-boosting upgrades. And here's why Orchard's the best. When your home sells for more, which happens 9 times out of 10, you get that cash too. It's almost like getting paid twice. That's why Orchard is the smarter, faster, hassle-free way to sell your home. Orchard can unlock cash from your old home to use on your new home. That's payday 1. Then you buy your new place, and once you're in, Orchard sells your old home for top dollar. You get that money too. Boom, payday 2. Learn how you can make more with Orchard. Start with your free home valuation at Orchard.com. That's Orchard.com.
The water coming in and out of your home is like music. Here in San Antonio in the Hill Country, it is hard. Now that's hard. At the same time, those that know have a Connecticut quality water softener and enjoy this. Smooth, soft, pure, clean water. The difference is astounding. Hard water, soft water. If you don't have a Connecticut water softener in your home, you're basically inviting destructive hard water to beat up your appliances, hot water heater, and every pipe in your home. And your coffee maker, hard water damages it too. Call me for a free home water evaluation at 656-PURE.
For a limited time, get a free reverse osmosis drinking station, $400 off a trade-in, and 0% interest for 12 months. Call Connecticut of San Antonio in the Hill Country, 210-656-PURE.
Connecticut is simply the very best water softener you can buy, and that's why we say it's the last water softener you'll ever own. Don't live with. Live with
656 Pure Connecticut.
License number 38961.
The Lion and Rose at the Dominion, your daily happy hour spot from 3 till 7 p.m. 250 drafts, wine, wells, and bites from just $5. Big screens, bold flavors, and a patio made for post-game hangs. Lion and Rose at 23330 West I-10.
Well, I didn't think it would ever get here, but it finally did. The NBA Finals, Game 1 tonight in Oklahoma City, and you know that town is going to be rocking. This is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinagel. Jason Minix to my right. James Pledger is producing the show, and I tell you what, I'm looking forward, Jason, to the series because everybody thinks that Oklahoma City is going to roll Indiana, and I don't think it's going to be like that. I think it's going to be a better series than everybody thinks.
Define better. 4 games, 5 games, 6
7 games.
You think maybe even 7?
Yes, I do.
It's interesting because nobody is picking the Indiana Pacers.
Nobody?
Nobody.
Nobody.
I mean, have you seen anybody pick the Pacers?
I think there was one guy.
Greg Doyle doesn't count.
Well, no, Greg Doyle. And he's still stalking, what's her name?
Caitlin Clark?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he doesn't count. I think I saw one guy on ESPN. That's the whole thing. Nobody thinks that Indiana's got a chance in this thing, and I do.
Do you think Indiana could win the series?
I think they could win the series, yes, I do.
I think we're all NBA fans at this point. I want as many games as we can get. Is that 5? Is that 6? Pascal Siakam says it doesn't matter.
I think we focus on ourselves. I think I don't think we expect anyone to pick us. So, and that's been like that the whole playoffs. It's been like that the whole season. So I think for us, nothing really changes. We just continue to be ourselves, focus on us, and it's always been us against everyone. So it doesn't change.
It doesn't change, and they have been underdogs pretty much in the entire playoff run.
Yeah,
and they've exceeded expectations. Look, I know Oklahoma City's been the best team in the NBA all year, but I like this Pacers team, and I like the way that they play. And they're going to try to run Oklahoma City to death. It's the same thing they tried to do with New York, and when they did it, they were successful. And I think they can be successful against OKC.
You know, the problem is OKC is so good offensively, but they're even better defensively. And they are. I mean, Siakam's right. Halliburton's right. They're underdogs. They're big underdogs. Nobody is really giving them a chance in this series. But, Tyrese Halliburton says he's cool with that.
Yeah, I mean, they're a great team. They're historically great on both sides of the ball.
Historically
they
great.
They have the MVP. I mean, there's so many different things that you could name down the list of why they are so great at what they do. And why they're such a great team. And, we know that this is a great team. And I wouldn't want to, if we were to win a championship, I don't want to win any other way. I don't want to go around or go over. I want to go through. You want to go through the best team. You want to go through the best challenge. So this is the best challenge, and this is the best team in the NBA. It's been the best team in the NBA all year, and they're well coached. They just do everything so well. So there's no shortcuts to beating this team. And we know the odds are stacked against us, but it is what it is. We want to be here. We want to play against the best, and this is the best. So we're looking forward to the challenge as a group.
I think he said Oklahoma City's the best. Did he say that
Yeah.
ever? I thought he said that once or twice or 10 times. I don't know.
Hey, Tyrese, who you picking? I don't know. Thunder and 6.
Yeah, right. No, look, I do. And what I like is you got two teams that are not the normal, right? You've got Oklahoma City and Indiana, and it's not the Celtics. It's not the Lakers. It's not one of those teams that is always there. And I think if this turns into a good series, that's going to be good for the NBA. I really do, to see these young stars and people that you're gonna watch players that you haven't seen before, and you're gonna get introduced to a different brand of basketball. And again, I've said these two teams, Oklahoma City and Indiana, put together a little bit differently because Indiana went out and traded and got a few more pieces that way than Oklahoma City did. Although Oklahoma City did the same thing, the way these two teams were constructed, I think is a great blueprint for our team here in San Antonio.
What I love right now on our YouTube channel, Mark says, I got the Pacers. John, I picked the Pacers. Gilbert, Pacers in 8. Jacob Eric,
Pacers in 8.
are hot at the right time. Fred says Pacers are better coached. Mark G, Rick Carlisle's been doing a hell of a job. Pete Estrada, Pacers in 7. Art Garcia, Pacers in 6. Fred Villarreal, Indy in 7.
Wow.
Jacob Eric, it's like the Pacers are playing with house money, which makes them dangerous. I think house money, anytime you're the underdog, and, whether it's the experts and their picks or what Vegas is saying, you could always use the house money analogy. Are they playing with house money? They're in the NBA Finals. But, Draymond Green had an interesting comment on his podcast the other day, which took me a while to really try to figure out what the hell he was saying. He said you could lose in the NBA Finals and still win 2 games and not be close to winning a championship.
That's true.
And I guess that is true. The whole gentleman's sweep, things happen. Now, Indy, is tonight's game the one to steal? Like, weather the early storm, everybody's wearing their T-shirts. It's going to be crazy inside that arena in Oklahoma City. Weather the storm and have that comeback like they did in Game 1 against the New York Knicks at the Garden. Does that change everything? Because if Oklahoma City rolls tonight, they'll win Game 2 and go to Indy up 2-0. Tonight, to me, is the game for Indy to try to steal since both teams have had such a layoff.
Well, here's what I'm going to be looking for early in this one. Indiana's got to get in early. They can't get blown out early, right? Because you can't come back against this team. So, but who's going to be the more nervous team? You got a bunch of young guys that have never been here before. I mean, there are guys that have been here before, but for the most part, they haven't. So who's going to have the most nerves tonight? You got Oklahoma City in front of their home fans, and you're right. That arena is going to be rocking. It will be absolutely rocking. So whose nerves are more to the negative, I guess is a way to put it, and who can get over that the quickest. And I think you're going to see that tonight. Early on, it could be ugly for a minute until everybody gets rolling.
Well, and again, while they're young, Mark Dagnall, one of the things he loves is the maturity level of his basketball team.
This is who they are, more so than us developing that. Obviously the experiences they've gotten have helped develop them and season them. But this is who they are. This is who they've been. Sam's done an unbelievable job in his group of identifying the type of people that we're bringing in the door. And this is you're not seeing anybody that's out of character. This is a very, very impressive group of young men that have only gotten more impressive as they've gotten more experiences. And now we have a huge test in front of us because we have a really good opponent in a big stage with a lot of distractions. But hopefully, these guys rise the way that they always have.
I expect a good series. I really do. I just don't see Oklahoma City rolling this Indiana Pacers team. I think the Pacers are too good, and I think that disrespect, because I think in a lot of ways that's what it is. Because most people think Oklahoma City's going to roll, that this is not even going to be a matchup. You got to believe the Pacer players are hearing this, and they can say all the right things. Well, we're the underdog. We don't care. We're always that. But whatever, it's got to motivate you. And I have to believe that they're going to play up to that motivation. Now, are they good enough to beat Oklahoma City? That remains to be seen. But I think they can compete with them, and I don't think it's going to be a blowout series like everybody thinks.
For tonight's game one, OKC is favored by 9.5 with the total at 230.5.
That seems like a lot of points to me.
9.5 in game one.
Well, that too, but the 230 seems like a lot for this team, because Oklahoma City's a good defensive team, and the Pacers aren't bad either. But 9.5, that's disrespect on its own right there, is it not?
Well,
and if you're Indiana, if I'm Coach Carlisle, I'm showing them that. Look at this, and nobody expects you guys to do anything.
I mean, you think about the wins that Oklahoma City has had in this series. Now, the Nuggets series was the closest, but for the most part, when OKC wins, they win. Timberwolves 124-94, 128-126, close game there. They lost. Then 118-103, 114-88 against the Nuggets. They closed them out, winning 125-93, 112-105, 92-87, 149-106. Do you want to go through the Grizzlies scores? That was a sweep. One game was a 2-point game that was close. 114-108, but 118-89, 131-80. So I mean, when you look at, Oklahoma City, when they win, they generally win in a blowout because they can turn it on offensively and clamp down defensively. The one thing that I don't think you're going to see tonight from Indiana is where they just go for the barrage of 3-point shots, trying to get caught up in a hurry. Now you think about the mix of the 2 and the 3 in that first game against the New York Knicks, when what's-his-name went nuts from 3-point range. They were down 20 with under 4 to go, whatever it was, and he started hitting all those threes. I don't think you'll see that defensively from Oklahoma City, because if somebody gets into foul trouble, they could switch up. Just start rolling dudes in, Caruso and whoever, that's good defensively. Their depth, there's not major drop-off when somebody comes in or if they've got to make a switch.
No, all that is absolutely true. And again, Indiana can't fall behind. If they fall behind by double digits, they're going to be in trouble. They've got to keep pace with Oklahoma City and get the lead. And I think what they need to do is come in early and try to rattle OKC early, get the lead, and then play from there. It's going to be tough. Don't get me wrong. Oklahoma City's damn good. They've proven it. In fact, they beat Indiana twice this year in the regular season. One was a blowout. One was not. So they're clearly the team to beat. There's no question about that. But I have a feeling that the Pacers can keep up with them, and it's going to be a better series. At least I hope so. I really do hope that this is a great series. I don't want to see a sweep. I don't want to see 5 games. I want to see a series here that we can enjoy and look forward to.
Well, and that's when you look at it, I agree. I want to see a good series. I want to see a competitive series. But in reality, Oklahoma City, Denver in the second round might go down as the best series that we've had throughout these playoffs.
True.
Not just for Oklahoma City, but just in general. And that was in the second round. You can, maybe think about the Knicks-Pacers series, maybe the second best, depending on how good the NBA Finals end up being. You'd like to put Boston in there, but, once Tatum got hurt, they were toast. And now you look at Boston, what are they going to do? And all of a sudden there's trade rumors involving Jaylen Brown to the San Antonio Spurs. Would you be all right with that?
No.
No.
Well, I could be. He's just very expensive, this guy. Very expensive. But that obviously is the rumor. In fact, Chris Mannix, who's a longtime NBA guy, said to watch out for the Spurs.
The team I'd watch the closest with Jaylen Brown is probably the Spurs. The Spurs, sure, I think they'd love to make a run at Giannis. But do the Bucks ask for Stephen Castle? Is that on their wish list? And if it is, I can't see San Antonio doing a deal like that. I think if you're Boston, you're not going to ask for a Stephen Castle. You're not going to get a Stephen Castle in a potential Jaylen Brown deal. You would get the number 2 pick back in return. You would get some of the pieces you guys threw up on the screen there, the Devin Vassell's, the Keldon Johnson's, future first-round capital. That's something I'd watch if and when the Giannis Antetokounmpo stuff shakes itself out over the next few weeks.
Interesting. That's the first time I've heard that come up. But then when you start researching that, that's been a rumor in Boston for some time that the Spurs might be players in a Jaylen Brown trade. The problem with that is, if you're looking at it, I mean, Brown makes a hell of a lot of money and just got an extension.
Yeah.
I mean, he's on the hook, I think, 4 more years, if I'm not mistaken, and it's pretty big money. And then what would they want in that, and how would it all play out? Look, Jaylen Brown would be a great player to have. There's no question about it. I just don't know if that's going to happen.
Well, and again, a part of it is Boston has to unload a lot of salaries. And, you know, when you think about this Sports Illustrated podcast that Mannix was doing, and they were talking specifically, because you look at their payroll, and with Tatum basically going to miss all of next year, and all the salaries that they have, and they're in the second apron and all that kind of stuff. And let's face it, without a Jason Tatum, how competitive are they going to be? So does Brad Stevens, do they eat all that money, or do they use this as an opportunity to maybe unload and start a bit of a rebuild and do it on the fly, and that makes Jaylen Brown all of a sudden involved in trade rumors and tradable? A lot of those guys could be. And you think about like a Jaylen Brown, a Steph Castle, a De'Aaron Fox with Wemby and whatever else the Spurs might do. Now, yesterday, salary-wise, similar to a Kevin Durant. Jaylen Brown, younger, does have some injury issues, but he's under contract for 4 or 5 more years. Is that? But you said you wouldn't want to do that deal just because he's expensive.
Well, I mean, it would depend on what you're going to give up and what it would cost. I mean, because you're going to eat a big salary. He signed a $304 million contract extension in July of 2023. So, I mean, he's going to eat a lot of money in 2024. I mean, he's making what? He finish up with $69 million in 28-29.
Chump change.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's expensive. Now, he's a great player, don't get me wrong, and I think he'd be great in San Antonio, but do the Spurs want to go that way and have a large contract on the table when they're looking at De'Aaron Fox? They've got to extend this summer. That's coming up in July. And then, I mean, you look not too far down the road, you got some dude named Wemby.
Well, and now Kevin O'Connor from Yahoo Sports and Mannix that were doing this show together, Chris Mannix, what they're suggesting is the number 2 pick, which is going to be Dylan Harper, Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson, and future first-round capital. And Mannix said, absolutely, I think Boston does that deal if the number 2 pick is there, and I think San Antonio does. And he says, you add a Jaylen Brown to what the Spurs already have, and they're Western Conference Finals contenders.
Could be. I mean, again, he's a good player. How do you argue that? It's tough to argue that. Jaylen Brown's a good player. He carried the Celtics when Tatum got hurt before. So, I mean, he can do it, and he's a great player. But, again, are the Spurs willing to take on that type of a salary when you're looking down the road at De'Aaron Fox and also Wemby coming up as well?
Yeah, it's weird because all of us longtime Spurs fans aren't used to having the Spurs talked about with so many star players. Yet one of these is likely to come true. One of them has to come true. One of these different scenarios, but the fact is the Spurs have the players, they have the draft capital, they have the salary room, and the desire seemingly to go make some moves to be back into the conversation where we're talking about them in June.
That's the good news.
Yes, that's the great news. But all the years of losing have ended to have built up to this, and now it's time. Like all the, you've gone to the store, you've got all the ingredients. Now let's figure out what the main dish is going to be. Now it's a surprise until Brian Wright and Mitch Johnson and El Jefe let us know what's going on, and we hear about deals that are actually done. But it's there, and let's face it, 10 years ago, if we read something like this, we would all go, it ain't going to happen. Now, all of it is a real possibility.
Well, and I think the Spurs are being talked about because they've got more ammunition than anybody else. They've got it, and that's why the Spurs can be players in deals like Brown or Giannis or Kevin Durant. So do they go that way and sign a big name, a big star, an expensive star, or do they go another way and just try to bring in some mid-range veterans? It's going to be interesting to watch and to follow, but it's going to be fun either way. That is for sure. I tell you what, I can't wait. And as we get closer to the draft on June 25th, it's even going to ramp up that much more. There's no doubt about it. Did you lose a zebra?
Huh?
You had a zebra in your backyard, didn't you? Did you get loose?
Maybe. Let me check the cameras real quick.
Dude, this is a crazy story coming out of Tennessee. There's
nope, not mine.
Pet zebra.
So my zebra's still safe.
On the loose. It's so nice, too. Pettable, for sure. There's a zebra on the loose. We're going to talk about it. We return here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
When you think San Antonio sports, think 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Your home for the Cowboys. KTFM Floresville and SASportsStar.com.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
It was a sad day for Hooters.
What were they wearing in place of the uniform again?
We've had hostesses that may have been a little larger that couldn't wear the outfit, so they had safari shorts on and khaki shirts.
Oh.
It was a pretty low point in my life.
So it's not just me.
The John Clay Wolf Show.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-230-2777. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-230-2777. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-230-2777. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-230-2777 or biglou.com.
Hunger striking, snack time calling, it's crunch time. Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds brings you the boldest protein-packed crunch you can't resist with mouth-watering flavors like hot honey, sweet barbecue, and sea salt and cracked black pepper. Why settle for chips when you can level up your snacking game? Plus, they're low-carb, high-protein, and made for adventurous appetites. Score big flavor today. Grab Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds at H-E-B.
It is summertime in San Antonio, and that means you want a beer that is brewed for the summertime, and Karbach Brewing has you covered. Love Street is their blonde-style Kolsch ale. It is a smooth drinker, and it is great for those days out at the pool. Right now, the next beer in their Fun series is Rhubarbed. It's a fruited field beer, refreshing, vibrant brand, which used to only be available at the brewery. Well, now guess what? It's available for you all over San Antonio. Of course, Ziegenbach and Crawford Bach, those you're going to find all over the city as well. There's something for everybody's summer taste at Karbach, and they've got a lot of things going on at KarbachBrewing.com. They've got great giveaways, including some Love Street Air Force Ones, customized, designed by a local artist, get you looking good for the summer. And the great taste of summer gives listeners a chance to win a grill for their backyard. Show off your true Texan skills as a barbecue master. Grill up your own great taste of Texas.
You know the Rue Pub is proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the fights, and when you show up at the Rue Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch a game. Just down from the big blind, right next to the Angry Elephant. The Rue Pub, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Rue.
Hi, my name is Jason Thompson. I'm an attorney here in San Antonio where I've practiced for more than 30 years.
And San Antonio has really grown since I started practicing law. The risk of injury in a car crash today is greater than it's ever been, because every day we're forced to share our roads with 80,000-pound 18-wheelers and some truly dangerous drivers. If you or a family member is injured in a car crash, know this: the insurance companies are mobilized against you. They have highly trained adjusters and a long roster of attorneys with one job: pay as little as possible. Their techniques are extensive, and I believe you have zero chance of obtaining a fair recovery on your own. If you're involved in a car crash, you need to hire an attorney as soon as possible after the collision and before you speak to the insurance company's adjusters. Now, I do not have a comic book nickname. I do not call myself the Law Eagle, the Tiger Lawyer, the Law Chupacabra. I think the practice of law needs to be taken more seriously. If you've been injured, call me, Jason Thompson, for a free consultation. My number is 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400, or my website, alawyer4us.com.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
It's breaking this afternoon. Aaron Rodgers is signing with the Pittsburgh Steelers, a one-year deal. He plans to be in attendance for the Steelers minicamp next week. Valero Alamo Bowl is announced it's going to be played on December 30th this year, 8 o'clock inside the Alamo Dome. It will be televised on ESPN. Marks the Bowl's first December 30th game since 2013. NBA Finals underway tonight. Pacers at Oklahoma City.
Sports Center brought to you by Centergenics. Book your appointment at fixmylowteam.com.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Man, we are almost there. It is Thursday. Hope you're enjoying your Thursday afternoon, whatever you're doing today. Thanks for making us a part of your day today. This is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe. He's Jason. And that guy in the glass box of fun is James Pledger. And he's having a good time. I got to tell you something that happened to me today, Jason.
All right.
I'm at Subway. Me and the wife go to Subway for lunch.
Okay.
And there was a poor woman in there with her mother and 2 kids. Probably age, I don't know, 3, 4, something like that, a boy and a girl.
Okay.
And they were terrorizing that place.
Were they now?
They were, and I felt really bad for the mom.
Did you?
And as I'm eating my sandwich and enjoying that and listening to screaming and knocking over tables and mom yelling, you're misbehaving and this, yada, 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 I'm just going, thank God those days are over.
You've got grandkids, sir.
I do, but that's a whole different ballgame. A whole different ball game. Because if they start to misbehave, I just, hey, Casey, take care of this, will you?
Well, I mean, but what if Casey isn't there? What if you and Maggie are in charge of the kids and you got to take them somewhere?
Well, that's when old grandpa goes old school and just starts to, pop them on the butt.
It's 2025. You're not allowed to do that.
Well, I'm allowed to do that in my house. Damn right.
So why didn't you take these kids and spank them?
They're not my responsibility.
Did you say anything?
No, I'm just smiling and just.
Were you smiling?
Just thinking like, man, I'm so happy.
You didn't say anything?
Didn't say a word. Why would I?
Oh, so what's worse, bunch of kids that are being kids at the Subway, or being behind somebody in line that orders 17 sandwiches right before you do?
Well, that's pretty bad. It wasn't a bad thing. I was fine with it. It was entertainment. That's kind of how I looked at it.
That was entertaining.
It was entertainment. I felt sorry for the mom, and the grandmother. She just sat there. She didn't do anything. Well, I heard this mom say, "You're not listening. You're not listening. You're not listening." It didn't make any difference.
Remember back in the day when your kids were not listening?
Yes.
What did you do?
I made them listen. Dude, I was a strict father. We had to get Casey on the phone one day, and she'll tell you, man, I was a mean father. Horrible father. Mean.
I've heard stories from Casey, and I've heard stories from Joe. They kind of match up. And there's nothing better. See, I used to run into Casey at the Roo Pub.
Uh-huh.
And it was always, don't tell my dad you saw me.
Well, obviously, this is when she was no longer really my responsibility.
At what point are they really no longer your responsibility?
Well, probably never.
I mean, but I'm saying, unfortunately, Erica was never a crier. But There were times if she wasn't able to settle down, we would pick, one of us would not enjoy our lunch because we would go outside with the kid, because I never wanted to be that guy that ruins everybody else's meal.
Exactly right. I'm the same. I was kind of the same way, but I mean, my kids knew. Look, they could push me a little bit, you know. I mean,
Your kids got away with murder.
Well, they did, but until they didn't, and when it got too far,
double murder they never got away with, but murder they did.
When it got too far, that's when you had to lay down the law. But I just thought that was interesting today, and it was a nice lunch with entertainment included.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wasn't bad.
Next time you go to McDonald's and sit out there with the Playscape thing.
No, I don't want to do that. And that's a good
you
thing
want
about
to be annoyed by kids.
It's a good thing about McDonald's. Typically, that's over by itself, and you can sit far away from that thing.
Subway?
No.
The next part is, now I know they've got tables and chairs in there. I can't tell you the last time I actually sat in a Subway and ate my sandwich. It's a to-go spot for me.
Well, typically it is for me too, but Maggie had to drop something off at the UPS store that's right next to it, so we decided let's just go get a sandwich. I had some time.
Yeah.
So we did, and we were entertained. It was great, but I felt bad for the mom, although she didn't seem to be too upset.
No, she's used to it.
I guess so. It's just like, y'all go over there and play.
Mm-hmm.
They're climbing on tables. It was fun. It was actually.
They weren't climbing on your table,
Not
were
on
they?
my table, no. But they were climbing on tables. So very entertaining afternoon, kind of like the headline Blitz.
This is Jason and Joe's Headline Blitz. Two guys, two opinions, never enough time.
Jason, I want to give Derek Carr a lot of credit.
Do you now?
I do.
You're buying this?
Sure. You're not buying this?
I don't know. It sounds good, doesn't it?
It does. And I don't know many people that would have done this.
He opted for retirement because he says if he had that surgery, he just didn't want to take $30 million from the Saints and not be able to perform.
Now, I would take the $30 million and not perform. Absolutely. But Derek Carr, being a nice guy that he is, didn't want to do that.
And again, it sounds good. And he says, it sounds crazy, but I just didn't want to take the Saints' money. Now, we knew that was a bad marriage from the get-go, and things weren't working out well. He didn't like New Orleans. They didn't like him. It wasn't good. Now, Saints did allow him to keep the $10 million roster bonus. He could have forfeited that. In return, he gave up $30 million of otherwise guaranteed salary. He says, I never just played for the money. I have a whole bunch of people tell me how crazy I was, and man, I would never have done that. It's all cool, but I've gained all these things that the world has to offer me. Again, it sounds good. I don't know how much I believe it.
Well, who knows? Who knows? That's what he says. He gets $10 million out of there, and according to the story, for his 11-year career, he earned $200 million.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's going to be okay. But I don't know too many people that would have done that. That was very nice of you, Derek.
If you buy it. Now, again, he said, my agent literally texted me a few days ago, and he said, just checking in. How's everything? You still feel comfortable with the decision? And I sent him a picture of me on the beach with my two kids playing. Said, yeah, this beats an OTA any day.
Very cool. Very cool.
And I guess when you got two, he must love New Orleans the way you love New Orleans.
I'm kind of thinking that, Jason.
Like $30 million isn't worth me spending 6 months in this city.
Now, wait a minute. Don't go that far. I'd spend 6 months in New Orleans for $30 million.
You would for $30,000.
Well, maybe so.
You don't have $200 million in the bank.
Well, that's a very good point.
If you had $200 million in the bank, you would forfeit $30 million not to deal with Little Kellen Moore.
I might do that. Well, it's not Little Kellen Moore that I was worried about. It's the city of New Orleans. Not a big fan.
It's a great city.
Yeah, not a big fan.
Great city.
Did you know that peeing in somebody's water cooler is not a crime in New Mexico?
Well, I didn't know that because, several weeks ago we read an article about a baseball player, a JV player at that, in Rio Rancho, New Mexico, which is an Albuquerque suburb. And this kid peed in the water cooler for the visiting team. Now, he admitted to it and was originally arrested, 15 counts of battery. The problem is when you look at the law, battery, you got to touch someone. He doesn't physically touch anybody, so the DA said that no crime was committed. He's off scot-free.
Wow.
Although the whole baseball team had to forfeit the entire season.
Well, there you go. So that's punishment enough?
I just hope this doesn't start a trend that you can pee in the water cooler.
Now, I don't know. This is in New Mexico, so I don't know if Texas is the same law. So if you're trying to pee in somebody's water cooler here in Texas, it might not be the same thing. But yeah, if you have an urge to do that, just go to New Mexico.
Urge?
An urge. They ought to make that kid drink water out of that water cooler. He's not going to jail. I think
punishment?
Yes, that'd be the only thing. Sit in a closet and until that water's gone.
In a closet.
You're going to sit there.
All of a sudden, you're who was it that locked the kid in the closet at Texas Tech?
Mike Leach.
That was Mike Leach. That was Mike Leach,
Yeah.
right? But it was what's his name's kid that got stuck in the closet for the concussion.
Craig James.
Yeah, Craig James's kid. Yeah, you just go drink that piss water over there. Stay in the closet till that bucket's empty.
Yeah, I think that's an appropriate punishment.
Mm-hmm. You want to talk about what a hard-ass dad you were?
I never made my kids sit in the closet and drink pee water. I didn't do that. But speaking of pee, you remember the story we did not too long ago? The Masters, the amateur champion guy that peed in
kid from Arizona State.
Peed in Ray's Creek.
Go Sun Devils.
Well, it's appropriate then because he obviously has no respect for golf, so he was going to the Live Tour.
He peed on the golf course like you haven't?
Well, he's peed in Ray's Creek on Augusta National.
You would too.
Well,
you would too.
I don't know. This guy said he'd do it again.
Of course, if you got to pee and you're on a golf course, you're supposed to. It's in the rules.
Well, I have no issue with that, but it's a little bit different. Now he's going to the Live Tour. That's probably a common thing. They're drinking beer and smoking cigars and wearing shorts and so it's appropriate
Let's just
out
face
there.
it. He went to Arizona State. You could care less about the Live. He peed or whatever. You just noticed that his girlfriend game is on point.
She's pretty shiny.
Yeah,
I will say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she is. She's shiny. So good for him. It doesn't say how much money he's getting to go to the Live Tour, but he's going to the Live Tour, and I guess they like the fact that he said, birds up to the Masters.
He had to pee.
What?
He was on a golf course.
It's the Masters.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little different.
Mm-hmm.
You don't do that. You don't disrespect the Masters. You just don't do that. Let me ask you a question. What would you do? You're driving down the street, and you see a zebra running next to you. This actually happened.
Double take.
Well, I mean, it'd be like, whoa, I wasn't expecting to see that.
I mean, we see horses, we see cows, we see a zebra.
A zebra. I mean, that's not something you see every day. Now, it begs the question, because a zebra is loose, and apparently this is a pet zebra that is loose in Tennessee, and they're having a hard time catching it because every time they get close to it, it runs away, and it's pretty fast.
The great thing is the pet zebra's name is Mr. Ed.
Hello, I'm Mr. Ed.
And he's in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And what's crazy is they can't catch this thing. It's been on the loose for more than 5 days now. People are seeing it on the highway and capturing video of it. People are seeing it just cruising through neighborhoods on their doorbell cameras and their security cameras. And the zebra is all over the place. But every time somebody sees it, calls the whoever comes and collects your wild zebra, your pet zebra, they show up, and he's gone. They can't find him. He's a sneaky zebra.
He is a sneaky zebra. And in the story, there's a lady taking video as they're driving, and the zebra goes and cut right in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
Almost fell down, but got back up and took off. Then he's running in neighborhoods and harassing people. And
he's not harassing anybody.
Oh, that wasn't in the article?
No. I mean, people can't get close enough for it to harass. It's become a thing. Did you see the zebra today? And everybody's posting in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, because there's nothing better to do.
I mean, how do you catch that? I guess they're going to have to just
dart it.
Shoot him with a dart.
Dart it. I don't know. Can you lasso it? I mean, it is Tennessee. You would figure. I mean, we've seen like remember that? It's a zebra. I mean, you remember that bull that got away from the Houston rodeo? Eventually,
Yes.
a cowboy's able to lasso it, and it's fine.
Yes. Well, that's what they're going to have to do, I guess.
I mean,
You know, Ron Nuremberg's not to be our mayor pretty soon, right? The election's this Saturday.
Yeah.
So I wonder if Ron would argue with their current mayor, whether it's Gino Ortiz or Rolando Pablos. That happened. It's actually two guys at a country club. They were both drunk. And
were they peeing on a golf course?
Well, the ex-mayor claims he's standing there, and the new mayor comes up and body slams him.
He slapped him hard on the shoulder, and the dude fell down.
Well, he said he body slammed him.
I mean, there's two sides to this story, and neither one of them knows the truth because there was alcohol involved.
Well, of course there is.
It was upstate New York, couple of mayors in a small town at a country club.
And I would say they probably peed on the course.
They probably did.
I'm sure they did. There was a lot of
When was the last
alcohol.
time you played golf and didn't pee on the course? Can't remember.
I can't.
Pledge, you just played a fancy course. Did you pee on the course?
No.
Liar.
Not that one.
Liar.
See, now that's the point. There are some golf courses that you don't do that.
Pledge is lying. Oh, you did number 2 on the course?
No, 2 courses. 2 fancy courses I've played recently. Cordillera and the Dominion. Didn't pee on either of them.
Well, I played at the Dominion many times. Everybody pees on that course.
Yeah, a bragger. I don't believe you, Pledge. I don't believe.
Well, I'd see Pledge was taking it serious. I don't think he was drinking a lot.
That maybe that
could be it.
Although one of it was raining so much you just peed on yourself, nobody would notice.
Exactly.
I mean that's certainly a possibility when you were out at the Dominion. I could certainly see that.
I look like I went swimming.
Because I can tell you about every 4 holes at Golf Club of Texas, man, you've got a favorite bush.
Well, there's a lot of trees at the Golf Club of Texas. It makes it easy to do. I mean, you can hide pretty well.
But you don't. You just barely get off the cart path.
I don't have a lot to hide, so it doesn't matter. You know what I mean?
I was looking for the noodles.
So that's the beauty of that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
John Gruden back in the news. In fact, he was talking with the AAC commissioner, Pernetti, recently about NIL. I wonder how Gruden feels about NIL. We'll hear from John Gruden. That's coming up as we continue here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The Morning Huddle.
I went through it, and they told me no one time. They would never tell me no. They will, trust me. Are you crazy? You think I'm an unfit cat parent? You just had one die on you. You son of a bitch. Of the 2 cats you've had, one of them's dead. How dare you? You're batting 500. How dare you? I'm just saying. You wouldn't bring up the time that a coyote ran off with your puppy? That's been years ago. But did it happen? That was a puppy. I didn't say puppy. I'm just talking cat right here.
The Morning Huddle with AJ and Rob. Weekday mornings 6 to 10. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
There's a reason Intuitive Services Group handles our janitorial needs here at 94.1. They're local and serious about cleanliness. From nightly cleaning to detailed floor care, they deliver. We trust them and you can too. Call Mo at 830-470-3007. That's 830-470-3007.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
So I was taking my side hustle full time.
Bold move, my friend.
And I needed to find everything in one stop.
Like finding Bigfoot riding a unicorn.
Yes, so I hit the Staples Easy button. Staples had everything for a new office and print services for signs and brochures. Plus, Cindy, the Staples associate, helped me find the best tech for me.
Wait, no drama?
No, Staples made it easy.
For the products, services, and experts your business needs, Staples.
That was easy.
In-store, online, and on the app.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
April Ansira here from the Ansira Auto Group. Every year, the Texas Yes Project provides thousands of students across the state with free school supplies. And now you can help by entering the Drive Away for Education raffle, proudly sponsored by the Ansira Auto Group. One lucky winner will drive away in a brand new car, truck, or SUV, and countless young Texans will move forward with stronger futures. And we'll be giving away a gas card and shopping spree, plus other weekly prizes. Buy your raffle ticket today at TexasYesProject.org.
Have you ever closed your eyes and pictured owning a piece of the Texas coast? Ocean views, world-class fishing off of Matagorda Bay? Well, dream no more. This Saturday, June 7th, Driftwood Shores at Wolf Point is dropping the final release of these incredible coastal properties. We're talking 1 to 3 acre properties, all with ocean access for just $49.9. You heard correctly, $49.9. This gated community has a waterfront resort-style pool and cabana, your own boat slip and launch, even boat and RV storage, plus paved roads and underground utilities. It's the whole shebang. It's all happening this Saturday, June 7th. 1 to 3 acres with ocean access, just $49.9. Yes, just $49.9. Call now for your private tour at 210-853-0389. Excellent financing. Don't wait another minute. Call 210-853-0389. That's 210-853-0389. Texas coastal land has never been this affordable.
Well, I hope they find that zebra. That's all I care about. That poor thing running around Tennessee. No telling what. Somebody might cook that thing.
Dude, have you ever had zebra meat?
No, I have not, and I don't want zebra meat. Have you?
Yes.
Do you like it?
It was different, but it wasn't bad. I've had it twice. A few years ago, Rob was doing commercials for a company called Primo Processing.
I remember that.
And they had all these exotic meats. Now, the exotic ranch that we go hunting at does have zebra. I've never shot one. Don't want to. But they had these steaks, and they almost like pork chops. It wasn't bad. I don't know how. But I did it twice in 2 different ways just to see. One we kind of breaded and fried, and the other one I smoked. Breaded and fried, far better.
But you knew what you were eating.
I knew what I was eating.
Jeez.
So, yeah, that's where I know, like, if and again, I'm not going to make zebra for you, but even like deer meat, you've had some of that at my house. Nervous, but.
Well, I ate that sausage you had there. That was good. I admitted it. That was good. Tasted just like sausage. I don't know. I don't like deer meat at all. I just don't. And it's just. I don't know. So I can only imagine zebra, what it tastes like, or a horse, or I don't know.
I don't know what horse tastes like.
I have no idea either, but they're kind of in the same family.
But then again, breaded and fried is always pretty good. It's hard to mess that up.
I don't know.
Unless it's a gizzard for Joe.
Yeah, well, I'm not doing gizzards either.
You can.
I'm not.
Gizzards are great.
They're awful. They're horror awful.
Oh, stop.
They're bad. Hey, we sit here, Jason and I, and we talk about the NIL and all the problems that it has, and I just hate the way that it is right now. But I'm not the only one. John Gruden, and I don't know how he managed to sit down with Pernetti of the AAC.
Now, Gruden, if you follow him on social media, has one of the coolest bits going right now, where all these universities are sending him boxes and boxes of gear. And he opens the boxes and goes through all the gear. It's really cool. So he got a box from the American, and he's doing all that stuff now with Barstool. And they gave him all kinds of cool stuff, and apparently he's going to do the coin flip next year at the American Championship game, whenever it is. So, he had this box, and he's opening it. There's a lot of American conference-looking gear, but then a box with all the different teams and UTSA and everything he said about Jeff Traylor, good stuff. But then he sits down with Pernetti, and they start talking about the NIL.
In the NFL, we had a salary cap.
Yeah.
And there were times as a head coach, I would privately bitch about, well, they signed a guy, they gave the guy $100 million. We didn't have $100 million.
Right.
We lost this guy. Hell, I didn't want to lose the guy. We don't have the money to keep the guy. The American Athletic Conference, if anybody has a bitch, it's a lot of the coaches that are in your league, because a lot of these guys, they choose to leave Tulane. Mm-hmm. They choose to leave Tulsa. They choose to leave Charlotte, USF, to go play in the SEC for more money. Mm-hmm. Isn't there a salary cap on the horizon where we all have the same amount of money to pay players? It just sounds like a bunch of bullshit. It sounds like insanity to me.
Yeah, it is. And if we're going to continue to compensate student athletes, like I'm with you. I think student athletes, given, like when I was in college, we weren't talking about whose jersey was getting sold and should we get paid. Like, we were happy to have the experience, but the industry wasn't a multi-billion-dollar industry generating that kind of revenue. So as we go down this path, the house settlement's a good example. It's going to allow schools to directly revenue share with their student athletes up to a cap, which is going to be in the first year, $20.5 million. And people say, okay, great, there's a cap. But you have collectives and other groups that are generating NIL income. So John Gruden comes to an American school, and we're going to revenue share with him. And if we're at the cap, we don't have any more money for him, we can have our collective maybe bring some money in over the top. So it's a cap, and it's not a cap. In the future, I think we need to just continue to create more structure around it. This is a step in the right direction, but it's not the final step. Like, I'm not convinced this will solve all the industry's problems, but I think it is a step in the right direction.
Look, Pernetti's great. I like Pernetti. We had a chance to talk to him. What was it, Army-Navy game?
Army-Navy game.
Great guy. And I like the foresight that he has and what he's doing with the American. And obviously he's turned that conference into the best conference. It's not a power conference. But he's right. It's a step. But, man, we are far from finding a solution for what's going on.
Well, and UTSA, at least as we sit today on the 5th day of June, is keeping their collectives together. And at UTSA, there are 3 collectives. There's a football-only collective, there's an events collective, and then there's all the other sports has their collective. And so when you look at the rev share, and Pernetti's right, if they've maxed out what they're doing on rev share, then they can go to the collective and see if they can find some money from the collective. And so even the $20.5 million, which is what we're all waiting for that lawsuit, but everybody assumes it's gonna pass, and even if it doesn't, they've worked deals with these players. They're going to have to come up with that money one way or another because they've got contracts. So they've got to come up with that money. It's when do those kids get paid? Now is they're waiting on the judge, but UTSA isn't going to be near $20.5 million, and I doubt any of the schools in the American will be. But will there be, like in the American, they've got to spend or share $10 million, but over a 3-year period. So it's either, however it gets to be, in 3 years, you have to at least share $10 million with your student athletes, and not just football, although football will get the lion's share of that money.
Yeah, of course. Look, it's still not right because, and I hear what John Gruden's talking about. You know, in the NFL, you had a salary cap. And that's all we can do unless we go over the cap and we're taxed on that. In college football, yeah, you're going to have a salary cap per se. But then if some guys go, well, this guy really wants more than we can pay him. He wants $6 million this year, and we can only pay him $4 million. So we're going to go to the collective and get that money from them so we can pay this guy, or you let him walk. So it's really not a cap. It's not.
No.
Instead of saying, look, dude, this is all we can pay you. And there's got to be contracts. There's got to be all kinds of stuff to hold these kids accountable because it's getting out of hand. I mean, it's just flat out of hand.
Because the players to this point haven't unionized. But where Pernetti in the American, the non-Power 4 conferences, have to be very, very careful or where they're going to get screwed. And we've seen this happen at UTSA. You recruit a player that Texas wasn't. Let's use Trey Moore as an example.
Yep.
You recruit Trey Moore out of Smithson Valley. He plays great at UTSA. Texas comes calling, and he's up the road. Now, for a guy like Trey Moore, one, hard to fault the player, dude. You probably wanted to go to Texas. They didn't recruit you out of high school, but now they are. You get to go up there and play. But when you just look at the dollars, Texas can throw more money at Trey Moore than what UTSA can.
Absolutely.
There's got to be some sort of penalty for a player or some sort of compensation for the smaller school, the non-power school, if you lose a player to Texas or to Texas A&M or to Alabama or whatever the case is. There's got to be some sort of compensation that comes back to a place like UTSA to help them out, because what the smaller schools can't become are a farm system for the power schools.
And that's exactly what they are.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's basically what they are. So, if you're coming to UTSA, there is a cap on what you can make. If that's $1 million or whatever it is, and I guess the quarterback might be making that over there now, but there's a cap, and if that kid wanted to go somewhere else, he could easily walk and make probably double or triple what he's making at UTSA.
The reality is at UTSA this year, just this year, Jeff Traylor got very lucky that he's got a long-time personal relationship with quarterback Owen McCown.
Mm-hmm.
And Owen McCown comes from a family with money. So, and I think Jeff Traylor said on this show, and I'm paraphrasing, but I think he probably had offers to go other places, but he's not doing it just for the money,
Mm-hmm.
and he likes it here. So, but not everybody is from an NFL family, because let's say Owen McCown's dad, had a regular old job, and now another school is offering whatever that other school is offering, and it's a lot of money. Owen McCown, at that point, you got to make a business decision. I might love it here, but how do you turn down that money? Hard to fault the kid.
No, it is.
It's hard to fault the kid when you're looking at that kind of money at 18, 19, and the parents are going, "You're giving me how much? How much?" That's the crazy thing, And yeah, they all have contracts, but they're all. I don't even think they're full years. I think they're seasons, and I don't know what the penalty is if you break it and hit the portal. That's the other.
It doesn't feel like there is one. So there's that. And you come play a season at UTSA and you get that money, and then you leave and go make money elsewhere, and then leave there and go make money. That's what I'm saying. There's got to be somebody with some stones to make something that's going to stick. The problem you have with with it all over the country, you've got kids and lawsuits and this and that, and that's going to happen. As soon as this revenue share hits, there'll be lawsuits that are filed against that, saying that's unfair, and it's going to happen until somebody, whether it's the politicians, God forbid, or somebody that can come in and make a set of rules that can stick, then it's going to continue. It's going to spiral out of control. It's asinine to me that kids are making $5, $6, $7 million a year.
Well, it's asinine to me that they're making $500,000-$600,000 a year.
It's unbelievable.
At that point, where used to be scholarship and some spending money, and this all started. The whole idea was with NIL originally wasn't pay for play, which is what it's turned into. It was spending money. And at UTSA, you hear Jeff Traylor say all the time, most of their guys can take their money and go get a car and pay their cell phone bill and go on a date. I don't know. I don't think there's $1 million player at UTSA, or a $500,000. But I have no idea, because they also don't report those numbers. All the numbers you hear, you don't know how accurate they are. Even Sark at SEC Media Days kind of laughed at the $40 million roster and said, he said that wasn't a true number.
Uh-huh.
He didn't say how accurate or close the number is, or would give a true number. And I would imagine for a competitive balance, or from a competitive spirit of not wanting to say, Jeff Traylor probably doesn't want people to know what's out there.
Well, I'm sure he doesn't, because then that's going to make it easier for other people to come in. But look, they can find out. I mean, you talk to a kid's uncle, and Joey over there is making, $25,000. What do you got? I mean, that stuff's happening all over the place, and now they've got agents, and it's just somebody's got to come in with rules. Let the kids unionize. I'm fine with it. Let's collective bargain. Let's treat this like the NFL, because that's the only way, in my mind, that it's going to come under control. I mean, that's the only way.
210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. Let's go to the phones. Jason, great name, man. You're on the Blitz. What's up?
Hey, Jason, I'd like to weigh in on this one. But first, I've been meaning to call you and sell this. I think you said this like 2 years ago about the NBA tanking thing, having the play-in team that wins gets the first pick, which I thought that was genius. Stop tanking. So here's my take on this one. What if UT had to pay UTSA twice what they're paying the player?
That'd be great.
It would be, although I don't even know that it would, double the pay. In other words, what is it in soccer? And I don't know soccer well enough, but can't you buy a player in soccer, and then you pay the other club money, but then you still have to come up with a contract? I suppose. I don't know if it'd be double. And again, who's to know really what Texas is offering this particular kid? Like Joe said, your agent might say, hey, School B over here is offering us $250,000. We'll come to you for $275,000. and the other school might really only be at 100 because you have no idea. But if that's what they're asking for and that's what it takes, negotiation.
We know what NFL players make. That's public. But with these college kids, we have no clue what they're making. And that's what's sad about that. And, again, it's going to take somebody with some stones and somebody that's a lot smarter than I am to figure this thing out and make it stick from the courts in America. That's the problem, and that's what's got to be fixed. Speaking of the NFL, would you like to see the Cowboys make a trade for a cornerback, a guy that, well, was pretty good at one time and still is? We'll see. The Cowboys have the stones to do that. That is the question. We'll talk about NFL trades and fights breaking out with the New York Giants. Oh, my goodness. We're talking about that and a lot more when we continue here on The Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Friday on the Morning Huddle, we made it. We'll celebrate appropriately. We got finals, we got hockey. What else we got?
Well, Rob, there's other sports in the world. We'll have Dick Girardi on talking about the Belmont Stakes and UFC pay-per-view this weekend. We'll hit it all. Don't worry. Party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Mornings 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The Lion and Rose at the Dominion, your daily happy hour spot from 3 till 7 p.m. 250 drafts, wine, wells, and bites from just $5. Big screens, bold flavors, and a patio made for post-game hangs. Lion and Rose at 23330 West I-10.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You know the Roo Pub is proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch a game. Just down from the big blind, right next to the Angry Elephant. The Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Huge news. Right now at Wendy's, you can get a Son of Baconator for just $3. I don't think you understand this situation. The Son of Baconator is only $3 for a limited time. You know, smoked bacon, rich melted cheese. That Son of Baconator is only $3. Thank you to whoever wished upon that star. For bacon that just won't quit, gotta be Wendy's.
U.S. price and participation may vary. Prices may be higher in Alaska and Hawaii, not valid on a combo or on third-party delivery platform.
The playoffs are in full swing, and you can get in on all the action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest game-changing moments to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code JOEQ, J-O-E-Q, to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Protect your home and auto with a bundle from Progressive so you can stop worrying about them and invent new things to worry about, like snakes in your bedroom. Sure, that sounds incredibly irrational, but now that we've mentioned it, you are a little worried. The odds of one snake, let alone snakes plural, are so slim. But you might want to check. Oh, you're not near your bedroom. Guess you'll just have to sit there and worry about it. So let Progressive protect your home and auto, because you've got enough to worry about. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Calling all snack MVPs, it's time to huddle up with Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds, the low-carb, high-protein snack with a flavor-packed crunch. From sea salt and cracked black pepper to hot honey, sweet barbecue, and more, these bold bites are ready to tackle your crunch time cravings. Find your flavor playbook at H-E-B and make every bite count, because when it's crunch time, there's only one snack you need on your team: Southern Recipe Small Batch.
The playoffs are in full swing, and you can get in on all the action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest game-changing moments to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code JOEQ. That's JOEQ to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Serving in the military requires great sacrifices, not just for one's country, but also for one's family. Not surprisingly, divorce for soldiers is especially difficult, and it raises a number of challenges that are peculiar to military divorce, things such as deployments, relocation, retirement benefits. These issues can be complicated. So if you're a soldier facing such challenges, go to CordellCordell.com.
San Antonio, Austin, and St. Louis. CordellCordell.com.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sinks overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was going to unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
Well, they're doing something in the Texas House to address this NIL stuff, but it really just makes it where Texas schools now can conform to the revenue share that is supposed to be passed at some point in time. Governor Abbott signed something today, Jason.
Yeah, House Bill 126, and a lot of people have been, based on the conversation we were just having, saying, hey, you know what the governor did today? This was all expected, not a surprise, almost a formality. Basically, it just allows Texas to be in compliance with the House First NCAA thing whenever that gets passed. They had to change some language there. One thing it also does is if you're 17 and in high school, you can sign your NIL deal. You won't get paid till you're enrolled in the university. And what I do like about this part of it, as ugly as the NIL world is, so many of these top recruits are committing early as a sophomore, and you hear them committed, and then all of a sudden they flip 87 times, right?
Yep.
Before they actually get on campus. So now, not only can you commit, sign your letter of intent. Once you sign it's one thing on a verbal commitment, but once you sign your letter of intent, that's one thing. But a lot of guys now, even though they verbally committed, did not actually sign their letter of intent until they were able to get to their 18th birthday and sign their NIL deal. So they were still kind of in that free agent land, the way I understand this, and could be off a little bit. But now they can sign that NIL deal so they know they're getting paid by that university once they get on campus. So that will hold that commitment a little bit more. We've all seen, especially these top recruits, committed, and then flips at the last minute.
Yeah, and that's got to be frustrating as hell to coaches all over the place. The one thing that's in this bill, too, is it conforms to whatever happens. If the revenue share is approved by this judge who's looking at it and has been looking at it for a couple of months now, and it's a little bit different than what this Texas bill is, the Texas bill automatically conforms to what the judge has to say.
Yeah, the language can automatically change without a new bill having to be passed by the suits up there in Austin, which, I hate that part of college athletics. I dread the day that it gets to the high school level, but it will happen.
It's going to happen, and it's unfortunate, and that's why somebody's got to do something and get a handle on this thing and get some rules. It started out where, hey, we're kids, let them go get all the money they want. Problem is, some of these universities don't have the money they want, and those that do, I mean, you're going to, especially in football, and that's what we're talking about mostly, and you're going to have conferences that are just better than everybody else because they have the money to pay everybody else.
And a lot of that on the revenue share is coming from those TV contracts. So we'll see. And again, our conversation yesterday with UTSA Athletic Director Dr. Lisa Campos, which you can listen to in the audio vault at sasportstar.com, powered by AA Best Bail Bonds. I mean, they're expecting it to pass, thought it would be there by now, and constantly trying to figure out the new revenue streams at a place like UTSA. At Oklahoma, they had to let people go to be able to share revenue, which is mind-boggling to me and in that regards. But it's 2025.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, and you got to win. If boosters are writing big checks, they expect results, and so you got to do it. And you're expected to bring in the best players and pay them the money that they want. And it's tough. Look, for a school like Texas or even Oklahoma, Alabama, Georgia, those schools, they have people to do this. You know, I feel bad for UTSA, where Jeff Traylor's not only the head coach, he's probably the head fundraiser, and you know he's got to pull double duty, and it's just not right. And it's not fair.
Yeah, he does have a GM, but again, who's better at fundraising than Jeff Traylor?
Well, true.
And you know, part of the job, I suppose, but every coach of a certain age, hell, at this point, every coach out there, I don't care if you're 30 or 50 or 70, you got into coaching, and there's things that you had to do and rubber chicken dinners and all those trying to raise some money, but not like this. And negotiate with players and agents and players' parents. You know, the recruiting used to be about relationships, and I want to go play for that guy.
Yep.
And now, man, I'd love to go play for that guy, but this school over here, is they're going to pay me this much more money? I hate the coach, but I love looking at my bank account.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And look, all the props to Jeff Traylor, because he still does get kids to play there because of him and the relationships that he builds. So I give him all the credit in the world, and he's doing a hell of a job. All those coaches at UTSA are doing a hell of a job. So unfortunately, they got to deal with this.
Yeah, let's talk about guys that have always been paid. And, you know, because I'm seeing Michael's like, hey, did you know Aaron Rodgers signed with the Steelers? Yes, fully aware. I had that the moment it happened. But if you're just getting in near the radio, Aaron Rodgers officially a Steeler.
I think he's a bum.
Well, I still think he's a bum too. But it adds to the drama and the fun and all the speculation that's going to happen in the NFL. And look, as we get closer, now that we're past June 1, which is a pivotal date in the NFL, you might see some more of this kind of stuff start to take place. Now, there's an article out that it basically says trades we'd like to see. Right? It's a Yahoo article, and one of the sub-articles, I guess, if that's what you call it, is Jaylen Ramsey to the Cowboys.
Okay. I mean, you look at a Jaylen Ramsey to the Cowboys. The Cowboys do have the cap space this year to bring him in. But what is it going to cost, right? What would it cost to get Jaylen Ramsey? And that's the hard part to figure out. So ask AI. And AI says, dude, this is complicated because he's got such a big contract. Now, is that worthy of a late pick? Does Miami say we're going to eat a percentage of the salary so they can get a better pick? I mean, could the Cowboys do this deal? Sure. Would I be surprised if they did the deal? No. The fact that Steven was so quick not to talk about it last week makes me wonder. I can't talk about Jaylen. He plays for Miami. I just wonder if there could be something in the works because the Cowboys could afford to take him on, but they're not going to bring him in if they think Trayvon Diggs is going to be healthy early in the season. But they don't know about that because Trayvon's working out in Miami.
Well, and that's the problem, right? So, and then what would it cost? Would the Dolphins eat some of his salary? There's a lot of things there. I think you could probably get a Jaylen Ramsey for a fourth-round pick, and I'm just throwing that out there. I have no inside knowledge to that, but a fourth-round pick perhaps. But then you got to take care of the salary, and that's the other thing. And you might recall back when the Cowboys drafted Ezekiel Elliott, Jaylen Ramsey went the very next pick.
Well, that was the debate that draft.
Absolutely.
You go running back. Oh, nobody takes a running back that high. Cowboy, what do they need? Defense. Jaylen Ram, and of course, you know, Jerry wanted Zeke.
He wanted Zeke, and look, I mean, when you look at what Zeke did early on in his career, it turned out to be a pretty good pick. Jaylen Ramsey's played for, I don't know, 3-4 teams now, so he's bounced around a little bit. But the Cowboys need some help in that secondary, and I think at least for a year or so, Ramsey would be a good play.
But would he be at his salary next year? Now, granted, the Cowboys can afford to bring him in. They've got the cap space to bring him in. but 1 year, even though he's got 3 years left on his deal, they could almost get out of it, but it would be some big-time cap hits if they were able to do it.
We'll see what happens there. And I tell you what, in that same article, just before Aaron Rodgers goes to the Pittsburgh Steelers, one of the trades they wanted to see was Kirk Cousins to the Steel City. And obviously that's not going to happen. So whether Ramsey happens or not, I think something's got to happen for the Cowboys because and again, depending on Diggs, and I guess they're going to find that out, but I mean, something's got to happen. They need some help in that secondary.
They do, and Houston does too now, by the way. So again, the Cowboys aren't done. Steven always loves to say, roster acquisition is 24/7, 365.
Yep.
And they love trading away future picks, especially ones that they think are going to be compensatory picks, and they're going to get a lot of those. So I could see it, but Miami, I think, would have to eat some of that money. Or if they feel like Diggs isn't going to be there and then they can get out of the Diggs deal, because it's not to me, when I look at this Miami contract that Jalen Ramsey has, it's not necessarily this year's salary. It's the dead cap money the next 3 or 4 years. And then you think about all the other cap implications that the Cowboys are going to deal with. And even if they got rid of Diggs, there would be some cap implications. There's 3 voidable years on this Ramsey deal. So what he signed, $72 million, but only $25 guaranteed. So that's spreading out a whole lot of dead cap money for whoever takes on a Jalen Ramsey contract.
Yeah, if the Dolphins want to get rid of him, they're going to have to eat some of that contract. It'll be funny. This is good news for the Cowboys, I think, Jason, because it's OTAs. There's no contact. There's no, pushing, shoving, or there shouldn't be unless you're a New York Giant. But they had fights yesterday at their OTA.
I love it.
What does that mean? Does that mean they hate each other?
Well, of course. If who knows? They got testy. I don't know. Generally, you see fights second week of training camp.
Uh-huh.
You're tired of hitting yourself. It's hot. It's nasty. I don't know. Maybe they don't like each other.
Apparently not.
But in the non-contact part of this, the Giants organization is likely going to get fined because there was contact made because of a fight.
That would be karma, wouldn't it? That'd be justice. But it find it funny. It was just some pushing and shoving, but still, that never happens at OTA. So, going to be interesting to see. And good news for the Chiefs and the Kansas City Royals. The Missouri Senate passes a plan to keep the Chiefs at Arrowhead Stadium. That was a big deal. They were threatening to move off to Kansas.
Well, and they still could move off to Kansas because one of the things, and this is interesting when you think about how it could apply to Project Marvel and what they're doing here in San Antonio. Now, Missouri has been playing hardball big time with the Chiefs and the Royals, but there was some money for some tornado areas near St. Louis that went from $25 million to $100 million to get some of the other people on board to vote for this and do a $1.5 billion just to renovate Arrowhead Stadium. Yeah. The Kansas side, but the rest is going to be still private money from the Chiefs. The Kansas side of Kansas City, KCK, they're still saying, come on over here. We got you covered. We'll build you a whole brand new stadium. Won't cost you anything.
Well, it's funny how deadlines make deals. Right? That's what happened with Missouri. They were coming up against a deadline, and they passed a plan to keep them there. So we'll see if it keeps them there. I hope they don't move. That's Arrowhead Stadium, man.
Well, I mean, Arrowhead Stadium is there, but ultimately it passed. But Missouri is going to kick in half of the $1.15 billion needed to renovate Arrowhead Stadium. Doesn't mean that that's going to be done. Chiefs could still go to Kansas, where a new stadium would be built. Team's lease is through 2030. Kansas has said its offer expires on June 30th, so in 25 days. And if you're familiar with the area, the stadiums right now are on the Missouri side. There's an area by the racetrack on the Kansas side, KCK, where they want to put that stadium, which isn't far from where my buddy Carlos lives. So I'm kind of hoping it ends out there near the racetrack and the soccer stadium.
Well, speaking of places that don't like each other, That seems like a pretty good rivalry going there between Missouri and Kansas.
I mean,
you share a name of a city, and is it share a name, or is it the same city, just on the border?
It's the same city on the border.
Same city on the border.
You know, so when you go Kansas City, are you on the Kansas side or the Missouri side? Because, you know, when you're driving around, you have no idea, except for the cop cars change pretty quick.
Wow.
Seriously, it's kind of interesting when you're there.
Well, is interesting the right word?
I mean, if you're from there, it's just normal.
I guess.
I mean, it's different than, like my sister-in-law lives in Vancouver, Washington, which is right across the border between Washington State and Oregon. You got the Columbia River, so you've got Portland, and then across the river is Vancouver, Washington. Don't get that confused with Vancouver, BC. But the tax situation in Washington versus Oregon, you do your shopping in Oregon.
Oh, interesting.
But you live in Washington.
That just seems weird. I live in Missouri, but I got to go to the bank in Kansas. Oh, that's weird. I don't know. Those folks, Missouri, Kansas.
Yeah.
Midwest, just
sure.
weird. Weird folks. Hey, we got tickets to give away today.
We
do. Now, you're going to have to help me with this one, Slightly Stupid.
Why would I have to help you with that
because
one?
I don't know who the hell they are.
It's a rock band.
Okay, well, they're slightly stupid, obviously. But they're going to be around July 11th. All part of Live Nation's $30 ticket to summer.
Absolutely. Plus, we got Seether and Daughtry tickets to give away.
We do. So you want to be slightly stupid? Let's be slightly stupid. Why not? We're usually
slightly stupid.
Heavily stupid.
Or
we can just
slightly.
be slightly stupid.
It depends on who's
right
talking.
Now. Slightly Stupid's played July 11th at the Moody Amphitheater. And if you don't win the tickets right now, you can get them at livenation.com.
They're playing on the 11th. Let's go, caller 11. 210-656-ESPN. 656-3776. Caller 11, a pair of tickets to go see Slightly Stupid up in Austin.
Very nice. Hey, before we go, I want to tell you about the Golf Club of Texas because perfect weekend to get out there. Or if you've got a Friday off like tomorrow, you should go out there. Monday, you can go out there. The good news about the Golf Club of Texas, it's open 7 days a week. So you don't have to just relegate it to the weekends. You can go out there at any time, and the service is exactly the same. The beer is just as cold. The cocktails are just as good. And better yet, the food is just as fantastic as it is on a Saturday or a Monday or a Wednesday. Doesn't make any difference. It is a great place, and they've done some great work out there. Put a lot of money into that golf course. Brand new golf cart paths. They've resodded all over the place. They've got these really nice zero-scape areas out there that just add to the beauty of the golf course. Not to mention the fact they got some really schwanky, nice tee markers now that they've put in out there. Done a heck of a job. You go out there, the staff is friendly. It is a fantastic place. And I already mentioned the food and the drink at the 10 Cup Bar and Grill. It is awesome. You can even take your family out there. Even if you're not playing golf, you should go out there because you can take a family out there. Not going to break the bank to have a great meal. The Golf Club of Texas is a great place. You know exactly where it is. It's right there off Briggs Ranch Road, right off Highway 90. Whether you're going for dinner at the 10 Cup or around with your buddies, or how about your next tournament out there? They'll treat you great. Go check them out. Best rates always online at golfclubtexas.com. That's golfclubtexas.com. The Golf Club of Texas is the friendliest golf course in Texas.
You're listening to The Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6. KTFM Floresville. And everywhere at sasportstar.com.
It's Macy's Friends and Family Sale, which means if you're shopping for summer, you can get insider deals on our best brands, even ones that aren't usually on sale, like an extra 30% off Hugo Boss, Calvin Klein, Levi's, and more. Plus, get 15% off beauty and fragrance. And with Father's Day just around the corner on June 15th, it's a great time to shop for Dad. Stop by Macy's today and walk out with the perfect gift. Don't miss Friends and Family. Going on now, only at Macy's. Savings off regular and already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
Looking for a place with character, cold drinks, and real Texas charm? Pull up a chair at the Lion and Rose in the Dominion. This local favorite, run by the Tharp family, serves up Southern hospitality, military pride, and seriously good food. Happy hour daily from 3 till 7 p.m. with $2.50 drafts, select wine, wells, and mimosas. Plus, tasty bites from just $5. Big screens, bold flavors, and a patio made for post-game hangs. Now open at 23330 West I-10. The Lion and Rose.
See website for details. Bills Happen is not a lender. It does not make credit decisions. Must be 18 years old. Not available in all states.
Honey, everything is so expensive, and our bills are piling up.
You're telling me credit cards are maxed out, rent is due, and the car payment's right around the corner? We need some extra cash.
We should do what my friend from work did. She went to billshappen.com and got the money she needed the next day.
Our credit is not great. Are you sure that would work for us?
Bills Happen is one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with all credit types get up to $5,000.
Sounds like it's going to be a hassle.
My friend said it was super easy. She did it right from her phone during her lunch break.
If you have a regular source of income, you can be approved for a loan for up to $5,000, and your cash can hit your bank account the next day. BillsHappen.com's lenders have millions of dollars to lend, regardless of your credit history.
Guess what? I went to billshappen.com, and we're getting our money tomorrow.
Wow, that's fast. Problem solved.
If you need extra cash, go to billshappen.com. That's billshappen.com. Billshappen.com.
Ugh, I gotta get business cards printed for my entire staff, but where do I even?
That was easy.
Oh, okay, Staples. But can I have bigger stuff printed too, like huge signs and banners?
That was easy.
Nice. And what if I had to ship a package?
That was easy.
Have my passport photo taken?
That was easy.
Coffee and snacks?
That was easy.
What about the latest laptops?
That was
Earbuds
easy.
and headphones?
That was
Office
easy.
chairs?
That was easy.
I think I also need to get some Staples.
Seriously?
I had to ask.
For everything your business needs to get the job done.
Staples. That was easy.
Progressive knows there are some surprisingly expensive things in life, like fences. A house with a big yard and a white picket fence was always the dream. But then you saw the price to install a fence and you're wondering if the color is driving the price up. Nobody ever dreams of a beige or a gray picket fence, right? So maybe those fences are cheaper. But no, they're not. Then you remember that switching your home and auto to Progressive could save you hundreds and make all your dreams of a fence come true. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Ugh. Kitchen ants? Runaway roaches? A spider? A spider? A spider! Relax. Just use Zevo. Zevo insect killer sprays use a powerful blend of mint and rosemary to eliminate those pests and up to 20 other bug types. Plus, Zevo is safe for use around people and pets when used as directed. Just spray the bugs and wipe them away. Zevo. People friendly, bug deadly.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
Aaron Rodgers is signing with the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's a one-year deal, and well, he plans to be in attendance for the Steelers minicamp next week. NBA Finals get underway tonight. Indiana Pacers are in Oklahoma City to battle the Thunder. Tip-off for Game 1 is 7:30. You can listen to that game right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. It all gets underway at 6:30.
SportsCenter is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
And it is Thursday on top of that, which is nice. Baby Friday, whatever you want to call it, Thursday. Welcome. We're really happy you're spending a part of your day with us here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Jason Minix, I'm Joe Reinagel. James Pledger's in the glass box of fun. It's Thursday already.
It is. You're in a good mood.
I am.
I'm about to piss you off.
Why? Well, that's a day that ends with why.
Yeah, it's because it's what I do. So during the break, I happened to pull up Facebook, and I got an alert about my Facebook memories, which I love the Facebook memories portion of Facebook. 2 years ago.
2 years.
2 years ago. Now, I know if you're watching on YouTube, if I hold this up, you won't be able to see this, but I'll just show Joe. Read that.
Hold on. Let me take a read. It says, fun couple of games in Arlington, watching the Rangers beat the Mariners and the Cardinals.
Now, what you see a picture of my wife? What shirt is she wearing?
She's wearing a Mariners shirt.
What shirt are you wearing?
I'm wearing a Cardinals shirt.
Same seats that they kicked or made you change your clothes this week because they don't allow it. But there's proof because I was like, dude, we've been here before. They didn't make you change. They didn't make Joanna change.
Well, look, I can understand my shirt. It's a little bitty Cardinal emblem there and on a red shirt, but Joanna's got a jersey on.
Well, it's a T-shirt,
well,
but
it looks like a jersey.
But when you look at that photo right there, your red shirt looks that you could see the Cardinal logo.
I think they just hired that girl to be a Gestapo.
I'm just saying.
Wow.
I knew. I mean, because I just think that's funny. So 2 years ago, you were in that same suite, wearing a Cardinal shirt, and weren't told to change.
Unbelievable. Now, I am a little upset now.
I figured.
A little bit.
Now,
yeah.
There's another picture later, and Joanna's wearing a Rangers sweatshirt.
Oh, did they make her change?
I don't remember that. Or was she cold and borrowed mine because I'm not wearing a Ranger shirt? So
that could have been.
I don't know.
It gets cold in there when the roof is closed.
Yeah.
With the air conditioner going. I don't know. And I'm trying to understand that rule. If you don't know,
I love that rule.
If you don't know what we're talking about, Jason and I and our wives were at the Rangers game on Saturday. Had some great seats, great in the suite, courtesy of our really good friends at AA Best Bail Bonds.
Yep.
And I tell you what, the seats are fantastic. But at about 10 minutes before first pitch, this girl comes in, very sweet young lady.
Lovely.
Yes. And tells me that I can't wear the opposition's jersey in this suite, that it's in the rules. And I thought she's giving me, she's punking me.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I thought. So I look at her like I'm crazy. I ask your wife, I said, Jason put her up to this.
Now, I
There's
wasn't
no way.
there when this happened. I went to get more food.
Yes. So, but I said, yeah, Jason had to put you up. So I'm just kind of laughing in her face. And she keeps going, and I look at her and I go, are you for real? And she looks right and she said, yeah. And I went, oh. So that's when I knew that it wasn't a joke. But they brought some Rangers swag for me and my wife.
Mm-hmm.
And I know everybody thinks I'm a fair weather fan, but I don't really care what you think, because I guarantee you, if you were in the same situation I was, in a suite, free food, free booze, and the best seat in the house.
Yep.
You're not leaving to make a statement that's not going to, the Rangers are going to give a damn or not.
Get off my lawn.
Whatever they want you to wear in there. If they told me to wear a tie in there, I would.
Yes.
No, I would, Pledge, because that's how awesome those seats are.
Unless you've been there, you have no idea. Here's a great example. Maggie had to go to New York for business, and part of they gave her tickets to the Yankees game the other night. She had pretty good seats, and it was a suite.
Mm-hmm.
She said, doesn't hold a candle to what we were Saturday.
That's incredible.
See? And I mean, she said, I'm spoiled. There's no way I can watch a ball game anywhere else.
It does make a difference. And there are RPPs and then there are RPPs.
I'm telling you.
But wear what you want. But I just thought it was fun. And it's in the rules, and I love the rule that the Texas Rangers have.
I don't.
It's from the – of course you don't. But you know what? If it was the Cardinals and we went to a Cardinals game and you had access to similar seats and the Cardinals said, sir, you can't wear your Astros gear here. Here's a Cardinal shirt, and I put it on, you would understand.
Well,
I would.
I don't know. And first of all, you wouldn't have that problem because they don't have those ground level suites at Busch
but
Stadium.
If they did.
But I hear you. And you would have worn it. Or would you have made a statement, Jason, and gone out and said, the hell with you, Cardinals. I'm going to piss y'all off. I'm leaving.
Well, I don't know. I think if a buddy of mine that said, dude, you can't wear that, you thought I was messing with you. I told you. I told you.
You didn't know.
I did tell you. Pledge can pull the audio. And honestly, I didn't know, but I kind of knew. And I say that, as I said on the air Friday, there was a time, but it was a playoff series against the Astros, and the people in there that were in Astros jerseys were told to change.
Well, that's their big rival, so I could
see that.
Sure.
But apparently it's for everybody, and they're enforcing it a lot more now, obviously. But then, immediately Albert got an email from the Rangers about
he did.
the hooligans that he let in there. Like, dude, be careful. No, but yeah, but I love that rule. And it's like some of these teams that are starting to penalize season ticket holders for selling their tickets because you want to limit the amount of the opposition that's in the building. I'm surprised Jerry doesn't do that. How often do you hear, and it happens, let's see, 8 times a year? Oh, we took over that stadium. We took over, Jerry. It's like that every Sunday.
It is.
Because season ticket holders can go to 2 games, sell the rest, and make money on their season tickets.
That's the American way.
It is. But everybody says, every fan base, we took over that building.
Yep.
I've been to a lot of those games. You didn't. It's just like every other Sunday. It's about 70-30. And the fact that the 30, that seems like a high number for the opposition. The Raiders are dealing with that because it's a destination stadium. Jerry World is a destination stadium. People, we're playing Dallas, man. Let's road trip. That's the game we're going to. Happens every week. Every week. We took over that stadium.
Well, I think
Cardinal fans. We took over that stadium this weekend.
True.
It is not.
That's true. There were so many Cardinal fans there. It was unbelievable.
12 of them.
I thought I was in St. Louis.
You did not.
I did. I thought I was there. Until they lost 2 out of 3, and I got to live with that.
Uh-huh.
But I love everybody on our YouTube page here. I'd have left. I wouldn't have done that. Okay.
Yeah.
One day we'll see. You put your money where your mouth is. You get a seat like that, which is just like, I don't know if there's a better seat anywhere than that. I honestly don't know, Jason. Have you ever been to any sporting event and had a better seat than we had at the Rangers game on Saturday?
Honestly, no. In that new stadium, Globe Life Field is incredible. If you've sat courtside feet on the wood at a Spurs game, the experience, that's incredible. Nothing quite like watching a baseball game there. And, a field suite at Jerry World is awful. I don't know why anybody wants one of those, because all you're doing is looking at somebody's butt the entire game.
Yes.
And bunches of people, because all the people that are standing on the sidelines.
Yeah.
You got a great bar and a party, but you're watching a television.
That's it. This, you don't have to do that. You got a great seat of the game. Not to mention, did I mention that once you're in there, the food and the booze are free?
Well,
for us.
Yeah.
Well, we had to.
No. I mean, if we had gone over a certain number.
Well, that's true.
Which we did our best. We did. You get to the number, then it's on you.
We left a great tip for the guy.
Absolutely.
He took very good care of us, that's for sure. So, I'd like to see all you keyboard warriors, if you would do the same thing.
You would do the same thing.
I'll wear a clown suit in there if they want me to. It doesn't make any difference, which basically.
You had a red shirt to go with the red nose.
A Ranger jersey, basically the same thing. A clown suit.
Are you kidding me?
Absolutely.
Are you? Now you're crossing the line. now you're crossing the line.
Crossing the line.
I mean, that jersey looked good on you.
Well, you know what? And I found it. My wife got home last night, and I said, honey, where's that jersey? It's right there. Folded in the chair. I'm like, okay.
You didn't look very hard, did you?
Obviously not. But I'm going to bring.
Don't you hate that?
I'm going to bring that in, and we'll hang it on the wall here somewhere, so everybody can see that. It's a really nice jersey, by the way.
It is.
It is. It is.
It's the right price too.
If it's free, it's for me. That's for sure. Game 1 of the NBA Finals tonight. Who you taking? Who you got? You want to call your shot? I want to hear you. 656-3776, 656-ESPN. Go to our YouTube page, San Antonio Sports Star on YouTube. You can like and subscribe our YouTube page there, and you can comment as well. You got to call your shot now, before Game 1 tonight. That is the way that it's got to be, because I don't want to hear somebody tomorrow when one team wins or loses and you say, well, I knew that was coming.
Yeah.
That ain't happening.
Yeah.
So get ready. We're talking NBA Finals when we return here on The Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
And I tell you what, with Game 1 tonight, add excitement to watching the game with Underdog. They score buckets. You can score cash with Underdog. One of the leading sports apps out there to make all your sports picks. Over 100,000 five-star reviews on Underdog. All you have to do is download the app and play the pick'em game, where you're just choosing higher or lower on player stats, whether it's points, assists, rebounds, combination of all of it, and you could play for as little as $1. And if you get everything right, you could win up to 1,000 times your money. So download the Underdog app. Sign up with promo code STAR to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. Again, use promo code STAR when you get signed up at Underdog. Must be 18 plus and present in Texas. Terms apply. See UnderdogFantasy.com/web/deposit-match-terms. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it. But not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to Hims.com/joy. HIMS.com/JOY.
Progressive knows there are some surprisingly expensive things in life, like fences. A house with a big yard and a white picket fence was always the dream. But then you saw the price to install a fence and you're wondering if the color is driving the price up. Nobody ever dreams of a beige or a gray picket fence, right? So maybe those fences are cheaper. But no, they're not. Then you remember that switching your home and auto to Progressive could save you hundreds and make all your dreams of a fence come true. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Transform your water with Connecticut. For a limited time, receive a free reverse osmosis drinking station, $400 off with a trade-in, and 0% interest for 12 months with approved credit. Don't wait. The offer ends soon. Call Connecticut today.
Since 1993, Thomas J. Henry dedicated himself to building a firm that injured clients can trust and respect. A firm backed by a track record of success and commitment to our clients. If you've been injured, trust Thomas J. Henry, San Antonio, Texas.
If you need to hire, you know it takes time. Well, what if you could meet with qualified candidates the very next day? Now you can with Zip Intro from ZipRecruiter. You simply pick a time and it does all the work of finding and scheduling qualified candidates for you. Then you choose who you want to talk to and meet with great people on back-to-back video calls as soon as the next day.
Try Zip Intro for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. Zip Intro. Post jobs today. Talk to qualified candidates tomorrow.
Vacation mode? Check. Don't forget your furry friend. Bluebonnet Bunkin' Biscuit in Selma offers daycare, boarding, grooming, and more. Discounts for military teachers and first responders. Bluebonnet Bunkin' Biscuit, where pets play, stay, and feel at home. There's a reason Intuitive Services Group handles our janitorial needs here at 94.1. They're local and serious about cleanliness. From nightly cleaning to detailed floor care, they deliver. We trust them and you can too. Call Mo at 830-470-3007. That's 830-470-3007.
You know the Roo Pub is proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch a game. Just down from the big blind, right next to the Angry Elephant. The Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
The Lion and Rose at the Dominion, your daily happy hour spot from 3 till 7 p.m. 250 drafts, wine, wells, and bites from just $5. Big screens, bold flavors, and a patio made for post-game hangs. Lion and Rose at 23330 West I-10.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Yeah, I don't get it sometimes. Airline schedules, rules and suites at baseball games. I just don't get it sometimes. But I guess that's life. You got to deal with it, and you got to roll with the punches. And that's what Jason and I do every day. Every single day.
Punches.
Roll with the punches. This is The Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe. He's Jason, and we're rolling with the punches.
Yeah, because we didn't get a direct flight.
Exactly.
Because they don't have it on Wednesday, but they do on Thursday.
Make that make sense.
More people going to Vegas on a Thursday than on a Wednesday.
Well, why punish people that want to go a day early?
Because the airline wants to make money.
Jeez.
Or not lose as much.
I guess. So instead, Jason and I have to fly through Houston, for goodness sake. Gosh, you have to get off the plane, go in there, have a drink at the bar, wait for the next flight, and get on the plane again.
Now, let's say, shut up, Pledge. Now, the other option, there is a direct flight that leaves, like 6 or 5?
Yeah, it's early.
And, it's a Wednesday. We have a show. We work till 6. So we'll get off air at 6. And we can get to the airport and get on a plane at 6:30. Easy, done, we've done that before. I know you're playing with a little bit of fire because there's not a lot of wiggle room there, but I mean, that's so doable.
Yes.
But if we went on the 5 o'clock, was there going to be a 4-hour extra innings with Pledge?
That would have to be.
Right?
Yeah.
So the boss said no to that.
Yeah.
But Joe was like, I don't necessarily mind that getting into Vegas at 10 o'clock at night, because if we got there at 6 o'clock, that's like a whole other day.
Yeah, dude.
That's bad for the wallet and the liver.
Yeah, that's bad. So I don't mind that flight, actually. I'm complaining, but I didn't know there was I don't understand. I'd like to talk to whoever schedules the flight.
You're going to write a sternly worded email?
Yes. And maybe I'll get Chat GPT to do it. You see that, dude? Man? I love that thing.
Except for you still have to clean it up.
Well, I guess, but, you write it and Chat GPT makes it look professional.
Yes.
It's crazy. I'm still trying to figure that thing out, and it'll probably take me a couple of years to do it. But, yeah, it'll be okay. But we are headed back to Vegas. Can we announce that yet?
I don't know if we can announce it yet, but we'll be out there we're flying out on Wednesday the 20th.
The 20th,
We'll be live at Stadium Swim on the 21st and 22nd.
Yes, we will.
And then we're flying back on Sunday the 24th.
Uh-huh.
The promo code, the Blitz promo code, I don't believe is live yet if you're trying to book your rooms at Circa. But you can book your flights.
You can. You might as well get ready. Join us. We've had a hell of a time. You know that. We talk about it. You've seen the scenery.
Mm-hmm.
And so you could actually see that in person if you'd like. And many more just like that.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of good stuff to
Pledge is showing the picture of Sydney. He's just got that as his screensaver.
Yeah, he does.
I have, except for the people that are watching right now on YouTube, don't get to see that. That's just for Pledger's enjoyment.
Well, and
Pledger's pleasure.
I'm enjoying it. You're not?
Well, I'm not.
I'm just saying.
He's correct. But the fact that Pledge can get that up so fast is just purely for his enjoyment. The photo, people.
Yeah, what's he getting up fast?
I think multiple things.
Well, Pledge is getting.
It's hard. Yeah, it's definitely hard.
He's getting up there, and it gets slower by the day. Oh, my goodness.
God, you scare me about getting old.
We could sit here and look and do whatever, and there's no chance in hell for the three of us. I mean, me and you, of course, we wouldn't even try because we're married. But Pledge, he could actually try, and he doesn't have a chance in hell.
None
whatsoever.
Redbird's Junkie with a new name for Pledge's show.
That's pretty
it's
good.
Hard. Yeah, it's definitely hard.
Extra inches with Pledger. Actually, I guess you could make that extra inches for Pledger.
Yeah,
yes.
You could. For Pledger. Or for her pleasure.
Claymore says Pledger's Pleasure sounds like a porn production company.
It really does. It really does. I don't know.
Let's talk NBA.
You think there'll be anything shiny walking around OKC tonight?
Well, I'm sure there is, but they're all going to be wearing a T-shirt, so it'd be hard to tell what really would have been on display if that were, say, in Dallas.
Well, that's a very good point. Or in San Antonio, because we don't wear them here. It's going to be a good game. Look, I'm looking forward to this thing. It seems like it's been forever since the East and West finals were over. Finally, we've got the NBA finals happening tonight. Game 1 in Oklahoma City. And just about everybody I've seen is picking Oklahoma City, and not just picking them, Jason, picking them in a sweep or a gentleman's sweep.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of 5 games. I'm still thinking 6, but I expect Oklahoma City to win. I want good, close games, and look at the line tonight, 9.5 for Oklahoma City. And throughout this playoff run, in their wins, Oklahoma City has generally won in a blowout. Mm-hmm. They've had a couple of tight games, and obviously they go the distance with Denver, which was a great series. Might be the best series of the playoffs when it's all said and done, depending on what happens here in the finals. But what I do appreciate about the Indiana Pacers, They understand they're the underdogs. Then they're not hiding from it. They're not offended by it. Tyrese Halliburton says, yeah, all right, what else is new? Somebody's picking against us.
Yeah, I mean, they're a great team. They're historically great on both sides of the ball. They have the MVP. I mean, there's so many different things that you could name down the list of why they are so great at what they do and why they're such a great team. And, we know that this is a great team, and I wouldn't want to, if we were to win a championship, I don't want to win any other way. I don't want to go around or go over or under. I want to go through. You want to go through the best team. You want to go through the best challenge. So this is the best challenge, and this is the best team in the NBA. It's been the best team in the NBA all year, and they're well coached. They just do everything so well. So there's no shortcuts to beating this team. And we know the odds are stacked against us, but, it is what it is. We want to be here. We want to play against the best, and this is the best. So, we're looking forward to the challenge as a group.
That was the most politically correct answer you could have. I love the fact that he did that because you listen to Tyrese Halliburton there. Oklahoma City's the best team in the history of best teams.
I was waiting for him to say, and all we have is the most overrated player in the NBA. I mean, that would have been a great answer from Tyrese. But you want to hear politically correct. Pascal Siakam says the same thing.
I think we focus on ourselves. Like I think, I don't think we expect anyone to pick us. And that's been like that the whole playoffs. It's been like that the whole season. So I think for us, nothing really changes. We just continue to be ourselves. Focus on us, and it's always been us against everyone, so it doesn't change.
Yeah, it's us against everyone.
Us against the world. Yeah. That's what it is. And look, this first game is important, I think, especially for Indiana. But if they could somehow come in and steal this game one, obviously it would be a great thing for them. But I think both teams are going to be. I expect nerves, Jason, early on in this game. Who handles that better is going to have the upper hand, at least early on.
When you think about how young Oklahoma City is, but Mark Dagnall appreciates the maturity of his Thunder basketball team.
This is who they are, more so than us developing that. Obviously the experiences they've gotten have helped develop them and season them, but this is who they are. This is who they've been. Sam's done an unbelievable job in his group of identifying the type of people that we're bringing in the door. And this is you're not seeing anybody that's out of character. This is a very, very impressive group of young men that have only gotten more impressive as they've gotten more experiences. And now we have a huge test in front of us because we have a really good opponent in a big stage with a lot of distractions. But hopefully, these guys rise the way that they always have.
And I expect them to. Look, they've got too many good players, but Indiana does too, and that's why I don't understand the disrespect. If you want to call it disrespect, it seems like it is to me because nobody's given Indiana a chance to win this thing.
Let me ask you this, because Indiana has earned their way here, right?
Sure.
Do you think the talk would be any different if it were the Knicks? It's still Oklahoma City, and it's because Oklahoma City has just been so dominant. They are so good offensively. They are so good defensively, and they are deep. I don't care who was going to roll in from the East. I think the overwhelming majority of expert picks were still going to be favoring the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Well, and you've got that, number one. They've been the best team in the NBA all year, and they play in the West. So their path to this point has been a lot more difficult than the path for the Indiana Pacers. And, it just has. The East is just not near as good as the West. And that Denver series against Oklahoma City and what we're going to see, especially if Oklahoma City does what everybody's expecting them to do and wrap this thing up within 5 games or so, you got to realize that Denver team was pretty damn good because they took OKC to the wire.
Which, again, might end up being the best playoff series. But also at the same time, while SGA and the Thunder are here and he's the MVP and they are overwhelming favorites, they're not overly cocky. I mean, there is that healthy respect that you have and you hear from SGA when talking about the Pacers.
They're a very fast team. I think, above all, they understand how they're playing, and they're very stubborn in their approach, and they kind of grind you with the way they play, and they wear you down, and you don't get here without being a really good team on both ends, and they're that. We know that coming into the game. But yeah, they're very
they know their identity and they stick to it no matter what.
Yeah, that's true. And part of their identity is the three-point shot. And they're going to shoot those. If they're making those, they're going to have a chance. Oklahoma City obviously is going to try to take that away from them. But I think Pascal Siakam just has the most finals experience of anybody.
Sure.
I mean, Alex Caruso for Oklahoma City has it, but that was that stupid bubble Lakers thing.
It counts.
Which doesn't mean anything.
It
so
counts.
It doesn't. Come on, it doesn't count. So I think, does that make a difference? He's playing well. Obviously, he's East Finals MVP. Halliburton's playing well. I like this to be a series, or at least at the very least, Jason. I hope it is a good series.
All right,
6-7 games.
All right, let me ask you this: what you want, what you hope for, versus what you actually expect. Because I think both could be true. I want a good series. I want a good long series. I want more basketball. I'd love this thing to go 7. I'd love this thing to go 6. I don't think it will. And again, what I want and what I think are going to happen, I'd love to see the Pacers win. Why not? Although my money's on Oklahoma City, so actually, but again, I don't give a damn who wins outside of a small bet, which isn't enough to go either way. So I mean, I want to see good basketball. Do I expect to see a good long series? No.
I think I like Indiana enough to think that they can compete with these guys. Now, can they win, 3 games, 2 games? Maybe. But I think they can compete. And I think if they get on a roll and they turn it into their type of a game, then I think they're going to have a chance. Well, I really do.
And the other part of that, if you're trying to make money on this series, it's all on the Pacers.
Absolutely.
And again, that doesn't mean you think it's going to happen, but that's the better bet right now is to bet on the Pacers. I mean, 9.5 tonight, but you look at the series odds, you want to make money. I mean, throw $10 or $100 on the Pacers because, I mean.
Plus 500.
Yeah, exactly, right? So that's how you can make some money. So, again, that doesn't mean that's what you think, but that's kind of a hope and a prayer.
Yeah, and why not? I mean, at this moment in time, they have a chance. Everybody's got a chance because nobody's played anything.
Is tonight a must-win for Indiana?
No, of course not. But I do have Indiana plus 9.5 tonight.
Plus 9.5.
I already took that bet because I didn't want the line to move. And if it moves up, I may make another bet. But we'll see. I like 9.5.
And then Oklahoma City's going to win by 26.
Well, they might. It's possible. It's happened to me before, Jason.
But also that's what Oklahoma City does.
Yeah, I get that.
That's what Oklahoma City does.
They won both games in the regular season. One game was a 6-point outcome. The other one, I think, was 23. So, yeah. So, we'll see.
You're saying there's a chance.
There's a chance. If they only lose by 6, I'm golden. Perfect.
They could lose by 9.
They could lose by 9.
Just not 10.
And I'm okay with that.
So all you people, just keep that in mind. When, I don't know, a late 3 that doesn't mean anything changes that line, tweet at Joe.
By Indiana?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you could tweet at me, at Joe Reinagle 210. I'll be watching the game tonight. And
free throw late to make it 12. Shut up, Pledge. I mean, but it could happen. Well, actually, I mean, if it's close, you never know. But what we do know with Indiana is they're never out of it. But what is your confidence level if Oklahoma City, when Oklahoma City goes up 20, that Indiana's coming back against that defense?
I have no confidence in that. If they let that happen, they're screwed. There'll be no 20-point comebacks against Oklahoma City in that defense. It won't happen. So that's the way it goes, and that's the way you watch. Indiana needs to come out and punch Oklahoma City in the face early. Get them bloody.
Mm-hmm.
Get them bloody. Do it. I wish the Spurs were in the finals. I really do. That would be really nice. Wembenyama! Can they make some deals in the offseason that give them a chance to get in the finals? Another rumor, because it's another day, that starts with Y. We'll talk about that when we continue here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Nobody ever plans on getting arrested, but it does happen to a lot of people every day for all kinds of reasons. If you get arrested, you want to get out of jail fast, the best way to do that is by calling my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text the word bail to 474747, or you can start the bonding process online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail, and you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you truly understand what all those conditions are before accepting it. Your best option for stress-free bail bonds is AA Best Bail Bonds because nobody beats their price. They offer payment plans, have a free shuttle service. They are discreet and confidential and open 24/7 with offices all over San Antonio and Texas, services nationwide. So if you're up in Dallas, down in Corpus, anywhere in between, license number 149, call AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121, or go online, mybestbailbonds.com.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Friday on the Morning Huddle, we made it. We'll celebrate appropriately. We got finals, we got hockey. What else we got?
Well, Rob, there's other sports in the world. We'll have Dick Girardi on talking about the Belmont Stakes and UFC pay-per-view this weekend. We'll hit it all. Don't worry. Party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Morning 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Have you ever closed your eyes and pictured owning a piece of the Texas coast? Ocean views, world-class fishing off of Matagorda Bay? Well, dream no more. This Saturday, June 7th, Driftwood Shores at Wolf Point is dropping the final release of these incredible coastal properties. We're talking 1 to 3 acre properties, all with ocean access for just $49.9. You heard correctly, $49.9. This gated community has a waterfront resort-style pool and cabana, your own boat slip and launch, even boat and RV storage, plus paved roads and underground utilities. It's the whole shebang. It's all happening this Saturday, June 7th. 1 to 3 acres with ocean access, just $49.9. Yes, just $49.9. Call now for your private tour at 210-853-0389. Excellent financing. Don't wait another minute. Call 210-853-0389. That's 210-853-0389. Texas coastal land has never been this affordable.
The playoffs are in full swing, and you can get in on all the action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest game-changing moments to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code JOEQ. That's JOEQ to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Now more than ever, Lowe's knows you don't just want a low price, you want the lowest price. And with our lowest price guarantee, you can count on us for competitive prices on all your home improvement projects. If you find a qualifying lower price somewhere else on the same item, we'll match it. Lowe's, we help, you save. Price match applies to same item, current price at qualifying retailers. Exclusions and terms apply. Learn how we'll match price at lowes.com/lowest price guarantee.
Looking for a place with character, cold drinks, and real Texas charm? Pull up a chair at the Lion and Rose in the Dominion. This local favorite, run by the Tharp family, serves up Southern hospitality, military pride, and seriously good food. Happy hour daily from 3 till 7 p.m. with $2.50 drafts, select wine, wells, and mimosas. Plus, tasty bites from just $5. Big screens, bold flavors, and a patio made for post-game hangs. Now open at 23330 West I-10. The Lion and Rose.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to Hims.com/joy. HIMS.com/JOY.
See website for details. Bills happen as not a lender. It does not make credit decisions. Must be 18 years old. Not available in all states.
Honey, everything is so expensive, and our bills are piling up.
You're telling me credit cards are maxed out, rent is due, and the car payment's right around the corner? We need some extra cash.
We should do what my friend from work did. She went to billshappen.com and got the money she needed the next day.
Our credit is not great. Are you sure that would work for us?
Bills Happen is one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with all credit types get up to $5,000.
Sounds like it's going to be a hassle.
My friend said it was super easy. She did it right from her phone during her lunch break.
If you have a regular source of income, you can be approved for a loan for up to $5,000, and your cash can hit your bank account the next day. BillsHappen.com's lenders have millions of dollars to lend regardless of your credit history.
Guess what? I went to BillsHappen.com, and we're getting our money tomorrow.
Wow, that's fast. Problem solved.
If you need extra cash, go to BillsHappen.com. That's BillsHappen.com. BillsHappen.com.
I like that. That's good music.
Do you know who that is?
I have no clue.
You know those guys.
I do?
Nothing More.
Nothing More. I do know those guys.
Yeah.
Nice guys. I knew I recognized the song, but I can't ever remember who that sings what and who does that and this.
Uh-huh.
The other thing, I was distracted a little bit because, you know, on our YouTube page at sasportstar.com or SA Sports Star, just look for it. You search San Antonio Sports Star, you'll
There
find
you
it.
go.
Claymore, I love Claymore. It's great. But he just put out the nightmare scenario. Claymore says this on our YouTube page. Imagine the Spurs trade the number 2 pick for Mr. Number 2 himself.
That's a bad idea, Jim.
That's like a nightmare, isn't it?
Well, I mean, Claymore is a Mavs fan, and I generally like Claymore, and he posted earlier about some cool stuff he got to do courtside with the troops, obviously when the Mavs sucked because, you know, that's a dumb idea, Claymore. And I know that's not a real idea. That's you stirring the pot. That's you really just trying to piss everybody off on a Thursday.
I don't think El Jefe would go for that. And I know he told everybody to stop booing, but El Jefe, he's not fond of number 2.
That's not who we are. Knock off the booing.
No. That's a bad idea.
Bad idea,
Well,
yes.
But in all seriousness, let's run with this for a second. Let's say the Spurs make that move. Again, would Spurs fans embrace that? Would people break out the 2 jerseys that are deep in their closet, and would they embrace that? We love our Spurs. And again, you know, sports hate. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
You love a guy when he's wearing your jersey, and when he puts on another jersey, you hate that guy. Deion Sanders was that way. Charles Haley. I mean, you go back. That's why I say don't buy current jerseys, buy legend jerseys. But with what he did to this franchise, it's not like he left. You know, this isn't Sean Elliott spending a lovely winter in Detroit before he came home. I mean, if Derek White were to come back, he would be embraced.
Absolutely.
I'm trying to think of some other former Spurs, and if they were to come back, because you still love those guys, even if he's wearing another jersey. Kawhi, completely different. I don't know that if the overwhelming majority of the Spurs fan base would welcome this guy with open arms. And a big part of that is, because we know that, you know, kind of like Clipper fans, you don't see him play enough to get to love him.
Well, that's the problem. The guy doesn't play enough. Now, he's a great player when he plays. He just doesn't play enough, and he's very, very expensive. And, you know, there's one thing, you know, a Derek White. I would love to have Derek White back in a Spurs uniform. That would be fantastic. But Kawhi, that guy, he dropped a bomb in the middle of the Spurs franchise when he walked out of here.
I'm trying to think of any other player who is despised by the fan base that he grew up in. Shaq has played for a gazillion teams, would always be welcomed back. Oscar, hate him or love him, he's a beast when he plays. And that's true. He was a great player. Might still be a great player. Might. But at this point in his career, I don't know. You know, it'd be you know, when the winning starts, you know, you would embrace them. I don't know. There's a difference between cheering for somebody or cheering for a team than cheering for the individual. If he were helping your team win and the Spurs are winning again, that's one thing. But would that same love be there. Now, then again, there are people that marry their ex-wife. I don't understand how that happens, but but it does, right?
Speaking of nightmare scenarios, my goodness.
I mean, but we all know people that have gotten divorced and then somehow gotten back together with them, and all the things that were said while the divorce was there, and then you get back together. I just think the divorce, for me, I don't know that I could, and I root for most of the Spurs guys. And as a Spur fan, I don't know that I will ever fully get over what that dude did to this franchise.
Absolutely not. And we're getting a comment here. And you want to go to YouTube, you need to, because it's a great community in there, and you can comment on anything we're talking about. Like and subscribe our SA Sports Star YouTube page, please. Sweet Thursday, Texas. Tony Parker was a huge reason why Kawhi left.
Here we go.
So that's not necessarily true, although Tony Parker had the stones to call Kawhi out and tell him to stop being a baby and play basketball. So if that's why Kawhi ran away crying and that if that's part of it, then I applaud Tony Parker.
He was already gone when Kawhi said my injury was 100 times worse or 1,000 times worse or whatever it was. I mean, you know, the succession plan was in place. And look, they were up on Golden State big when he got hurt, Zaza, right? Look, we don't need to relive the nightmare, but we will. But I'm looking at this, and again, there are still some Kawhi fans out there.
I know. I don't know how.
I don't either, because, see, you and I benefited the job. We've talked to enough people in that building to have a better idea of some of the truth. Some reported, some you can't talk about.
Yes.
Some of the jokes that were made, jokes isn't the right word. Some of the terminology that we can't repeat.
Yes.
It is what it is. But I don't know that enough time has passed for him to be welcome back. This is a guy that helped us win a championship.
He did.
And if things would have ended differently for him and he still played for all the good teams that he's played for, you know, there would be talk of, did we retire his jersey? Because the standard is low in San Antonio for retirement jersey, but not the way this guy left.
Not some of them, yes.
Not the way. No, some of them. I mean, look, the standard to get your jersey retired in San Antonio is pretty weak. Right?
Yeah.
But I mean, 2 finals trips, a championship. If he would have just left, traded away, asked out, and did it the right way, retired, and if they retired his number, I think that'd be something that would be talked about, but not the way he left. No, and to think that they would even entertain bringing him back, no, but if they did, basketball reasons only, I don't know what the fan base would do, how they would react. Initially, would they grow on you? It's who is that dude from the Cowboys? And there's been a lot of them that had all the medical issues from Carolina. Am I thinking Greg Hardy? Right?
He just got arrested today, by the way.
Did he really?
He did.
I mean, but I mean, remember when Greg Hardy's like, well, I mean, it's not like he's going to date my daughter if he helps my team win. I don't care what he does.
Right.
And you know, sometimes when you bring in somebody like that, you have to have that kind of attitude, right? If he helps our team win, I might not root for him, but I'll root for the jersey that he's wearing. Well, I don't get that with Kawhi.
I'm not. And look, we're fantasizing here. Obviously, it's a dream sequence, but
it's a nightmare. Sir.
It's a nightmare. Yes, Kawhi would never come back here. I mean, you'd have to drag him. He's not going to come here. He doesn't like San Antonio, and so that's just another reason to hate the guy. I mean, he doesn't like us.
But, you know, in his defense, and I try to be fair, every time he's been here and mumbled with the media, he's always said nice things about the city.
He's a liar.
But again, he's always said nice things about the city, even when booed. And, you know, he takes that in stride. He has.
Look, I say that, and my hate comes out with him because, I mean, we were right in the middle of this thing. And the things that he said about the Spurs doctor, some of the Spurs staff, throwing people under the bus left and right, I just have no love for this guy at all. And I just don't. And I couldn't imagine that scenario of him coming back and saying nice things. Look, of course you're going to say nice things about the city.
Yeah.
He doesn't feel that way. He couldn't wait to get the hell out of here.
No, he wanted to go home.
And I will applaud Pop for sending him as far away from Los Angeles as possible.
Even if it got him a trophy.
He got him a trophy.
But in reality, would you embrace, if the Spurs actually did the unthinkable and they brought him back, would you cheer because he's got the jersey on again? 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. Mario, you're on the Blitz. What's up, man?
Hey, guys. So if they brought Kawhi back, Project Marvel will be rushed because the Rock and the Frostbank Center will be burnt down. The hate is that much.
You know, that's what
man.
it takes to get a yes vote. Then you never know what's going to happen.
Mario, I'm with you, brother.
I mean, we're not encouraging people to burn something down,
of course
but
not.
the pitchforks would certainly be out.
Yes, they would.
I don't know. Jesse, you're on the Blitz. What's up, man?
Hey, thank you. I'm a part-time Uber driver aside from a regular job, and I picked up Uncle Dennis from the signature area of the San Antonio Airport, private flights. And I took Uncle Dennis to the signature area of the airport. And he had just met with Kawhi. Kawhi was ecstatic to start the season. He was ready to go. And Uncle Dennis, we have him as a villain, but he was thrilled for Kawhi to start. They were both excited to get him going. And then that was in August, July, August, around there. Season started. Kawhi was never played by Pop. Why? I don't know. Not until December. Then he had his second injury. I'd be upset too. If I was ready to start, both of them were upbeat. Both of them, Uncle Dennis and Kawhi, were ready to start, ready to go, and then Pop never played him, and then he got hurt. I'd be pissed off too. So I am willing to give Kawhi a second chance.
All right, and again, you have the Uber experience with him.
Look, Kawhi got a lot of playing time, all right? Obviously, he's the Finals MVP, and Pop is going to play the guy. If he didn't play him early on, he had a reason for that. Remember, the guy was drafted 15.
Yeah.
And we traded a guy that was one of the nicest guys in the history of the NBA for this guy.
I just look at it and you go back and you remember he got hurt in the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah, on a bad play,
yeah,
dirty play,
dirty.
Yes,
but at the same time, if the medical staff didn't clear him, you could be upbeat and want to play, but game ready and whatever. I don't remember him being out. I didn't trust the Spurs doctors and Hey, Gabe, you're on the Blitz. What's up?
What's up, fellas? Well, if Ray Allen doesn't hit that three-pointer, we go back-to-back 13 and 14. When he got hurt, we were on pace to win the championship that year. Look, I don't think that a lot of the fan base, you guys were knew him personally. You guys were covering him, for your guys' news outlets and whatnot. But as a Spurs fan, I just want to get back to winning. And if he was okay with coming back and we were okay with bringing him back, I'd root for the guy if he's got on a Spurs jersey. It's a very similar to LeBron situation. I'm not comparing him to LeBron, but Cleveland was burning his jerseys and all that. He came back. They still were wishy-washy. They get to the finals and everything's behind him now.
He finally won a championship in Cleveland, but when he first left, and I think Cleveland was mad in a lot of different ways. Gabe, appreciate the call. And this nice setup. Cleveland, he grew up there. Young guy goes to the finals, gets swept by the Spurs.
Yes.
And I think it's the way he exited Cleveland. That TV show, and I'm going to take my talents to South Beach. That's what pissed off Cleveland. And then when he came back, he helped him win a championship. It's so different. And again, to your point, 13, Ray Allen in that 3, if there wasn't a long rebound, Spurs get that, they win in 13. I don't know that they win in 14, to be honest.
No, probably not.
Because that loss in 13 drove them in 14. Spurs never went back-to-back, won back-to-back.
Never did.
But I don't know that if they win it in 13, that that they actually go back-to-back and win it in 14. Revisionist history, because the drive from that loss was just so apparent around that team. In 2012, when they were up 2-0 to Oklahoma City in the Western Conference Finals. And you go back to 11. Manu snaps his arm against against Phoenix in that meaningless game. And, the 1 seed swept by the 8-seeded Grizzlies. If RC would have blown that group up then, Poppin' RC, nobody would have been surprised.
No.
But they kept running it back.
Bad memories. And you got that Derek Fisher, .4 shot. The Lakers, after Tim had just made a great shot.
Maybe the greatest shot of his career that nobody talks about.
At that time, what was it, the AT&T Center at that time?
Back then, might have still been SBC.
Might have been SBC. Went nuts. I've never seen an arena go from as loud as it can be to dead silence in just a matter of seconds.
Jose on YouTube.
Yeah.
Everyone always gives Ray Allen the credit for 2013, but it was Kawhi that cost the Spurs by missing those free throws. That's true.
Even another reason to hate the guy.
That's true. Absolutely.
Don't need any more reason to dislike. I guess hate's a bad word.
We won't bring up Tim missing that little bunny layup. But,
well,
let's be fair. And he wasn't he was on the bench when that rebound happened.
Oh my gosh, dude, horrible. Bad memories going back like this. Good segment.
2014 was good.
2014 was fantastic, and it's 2025. That's how long it's been. That's 11 years. I'm not good at math, but that is 11 years.
Well, and you think about Tim, Tony, Manu, at Bonner from 07 to 14, 7 years between titles.
Yeah.
And we thought that was a drought.
We did, and it was. But we got another one, and now it's been 11.
It's been 7 years since we've been in the playoffs.
So there you go. It is time to get back in, and I'm excited about this offseason. Now, there are rumors out there flying around all over the place about a guy that I didn't even think about, I'll be honest with you, but the more you research it, you see that it is, I guess a possibility, or at least the Spurs are kicking the tires. We'll talk trades and NBA and all kinds of stuff. We got John McClain coming up at 5:15 as well. We'll talk about C.J. Stroud's shoulder and how he's doing with that. All of that and a lot more when we continue here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Game 1 of the NBA Finals is tonight. No better place to go watch than at the Rue Pub there at 281 and Redland Road with those 3 massive 170-inch screens, TVs all around. And when you go into the Rue Pub tonight, go hungry. The food, fantastic. I love the fried shrimp. They got the biggest and best wings in town. About 15 different burgers on the menu. Great hot dogs, chicken sandwich, whatever. All the food is outstanding, including the salads, I'm told. Great appetizers, and that kitchen is open late every day with the full menu available. So when you need a late-night meal, don't go to a drive-thru. Get into the Rue Pub there at 281 and Redland Road. Happy hour weekdays from 11 to 6. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch the game tonight. The Rue Pub, just down from the big blind, right next to the Angry Elephant. 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Rue.
KTFM Floresville. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Your home for the Blitz. 2 to 6 on YouTube and always at sasportstar.com.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it'd go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
Shopping with your parents can be embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them? I'm going to speak to the manager.
Mom!
That hoodie is giving. You should get it. YOLO.
Thanks to the Chase mobile app, your kid can shop independently while you keep an eye on their spending. So you can go from...
We can be twinsies.
...to...
How was shopping? Saw you stayed on budget.
Thanks, Mom. Freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family banking from Chase.
Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-550-8841. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-550-8841. That's 800-550-8841.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
It's your captain speaking. To the passenger with the Mirror Fast soft shoes, smart move.
No way am I letting travel constipation ruin this trip.
Can't blame you. Mirror Fast works fast, but without the harsh side effects.
Since I'm such a smart traveler, can I move to first class?
No. Close the curtain, girl.
From the makers of Miralax, new Mirafast soft chews work naturally with your body in as little as 30 minutes to give you a comfortable go on the go. Look for Mirafast at Walmart today. Use as directed for occasional constipation. Contains magnesium hydroxide.
Imagine selling your home and getting paid before and after it sells. It's like getting paid twice. Jason Minix here from San Antonio Sports Star. You can do that with Orchard. Orchard puts cash into your pockets. You can buy your dream home. Then your Orchard experts prepare and market your old home, including repairs, showings, even price-boosting upgrades. And here's why Orchard's the best. When your home sells for more, which happens 9 times out of 10, you get that cash too. It's almost like getting paid twice. That's why Orchard is the smarter, faster, hassle-free way to sell your home. Orchard can unlock cash from your old home to use on your new home. That's payday 1. Then you buy your new place, and once you're in, Orchard sells your old home for top dollar. You get that money too. Boom, payday 2. Learn how you can make more with Orchard. Start with your free home valuation at Orchard.com. That's Orchard.com.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, if you haven't heard, it is breaking this afternoon. Aaron Rodgers is signing with the Pittsburgh Steelers. It is a one-year deal. He plans to be in attendance for the Steelers minicamp next week. Well, our Alamo Bowl has announced that it's going to be played on December 30th this year, 8 o'clock inside the Alamo Dome, televised on ESPN. Marks the Bowl's first December 30th game since 2013.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
5 o'clock on a Thursday. It's already Friday for you. If you're getting off work. Well, I know it's Friday for you.
Yeah, but I got an hour of work left.
You do, so make it count, Minix, will you? I'm Joe Reinagel, Jason Minix, James Pledger. The whole gang is here. The Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, and we're happy that you're here as well. However, you may be doing that if you're driving around this beautiful city of San Antonio. Thank you for listening. On YouTube, thank you for listening. You can go there, like and subscribe our YouTube page. Please do that. And you can reach this guy at Jason Minix on Twitter and me at Joe Reinagel 210.
And you think about tonight, and I find this interesting, although not surprised they're having weather issues in Oklahoma City, but all the pregame stuff that I'm seeing on ESPN has been inside the arena. NCAA softball has announced they're currently monitoring the weather in Oklahoma City. Gates open time as well as first pitch may be delayed. Now, nobody here cares about gates open because if you're going, you'd already be there. But Oklahoma City weather, they play outdoors for the softball. Texas 1 win away from a national championship after an incredible game last night.
Game, yes.
But you wonder, depending on what the weather is, if it could have any impact on tonight's Game 1 of the NBA Finals. Like, if it's a thunderstorm, no big deal. But if there's a tornado, what do they do?
I don't know. I would have a feeling that the folks in Oklahoma City kind of have plans for that, right? Because they take it, they go with that kind of stuff. The only thing it could wreck is just people getting in the building. All the players are there, the officials are there. That's a great question. I don't know what they would do.
Although my cousin posted the other night that their power was out for several hours when they had that storm the other day that kept the Pacers from getting there on time. I hope they have generators. I mean, we've seen an NBA Finals game where the AC goes out.
And LeBron cried.
LeCramp?
Oh, my gosh, he cried.
I mean, it's a possibility. Hopefully it's just a storm and everything's good. That Texas Tech softball game last night was incredible.
Yeah, incredible. Texas just stole that game.
Stole it.
That was thievery.
It was damn near stolen from them on one of the most bogus review calls I've ever seen in my life. I have no. I don't watch a lot of softball.
No,
but that was a lot of fun.
It was fun. It was fun to watch. Now, was that on the little TV
it
or
was.
The big one?
Little TV.
Yeah, the little one. Huh?
Hockey last night was incredible.
Yeah, I heard. I didn't see it. Went into overtime, right?
Went into overtime.
I think Edmonton might be the team, the Cinderella story this year.
You know, maybe Florida's just so good. You know, Edmonton scored barely a minute into the game. 1-0, place is going nuts. And then Florida was up 3-1. Then it was 3-3. And then my wife is like, I don't know if I could stay up for a second overtime. And Edmonton said, don't worry, Joanna. We score with 30 seconds left in that first overtime period. It was great.
Wow.
It was great hockey. Great softball. Let's intentionally walk somebody and leave it over the plate and let her smack a 2-run.
How do you do that? I wonder if did the pitcher get the sign wrong? I mean, honestly.
The catcher was standing up.
I mean, that's
and
crazy.
that poor pitcher, I feel bad for her. She transferred in from Stanford, apparently getting $1 million because landman money is real.
It is. It is. I don't know. It's fun. Look, both of those teams are pretty good. And so it wouldn't surprise me if this goes to a game 3. It was fun to watch. I enjoy watching girls softball.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. I mean, they're so good. They really, especially the pitchers. Pitchers are great.
It's incredible and damn near impossible to hit. I remember one time trying to hit a Smith & Valley pitcher and fell down. Swung and fell.
Exactly. Well, the way they throw the ball and make a fool out of you.
Yeah.
The ball just dances all over the place, and you don't know what the heck you're doing.
Unless you're trying to intentionally walk somebody.
That's the problem.
And again, what a weird call. Were you watching when they had that Texas Tech review? I don't know. And again, there's rules, but I mean, she was clearly out. Was going to be out by a mile, but interference? What? I totally don't understand that. I thought that was a bad call. I don't know what the rules are, but that looked like a bad call. She was going to be out by a mile, safe after review, and then she scores. So I thought, man, Texas is going to get screwed here. But karma. Let's take $1 million pitcher, intentionally walk this girl with 2 outs, 2 on. We're going to walk her. And she left it over the plate.
I don't.
And the fact that the batter was focused enough to still swing, even though she knew she was being intentionally walked.
Well, and that's the thing. Because typically, you're getting walked. You're not paying attention, right?
You would think.
But she was. And I don't know how that happens, honestly.
Well, the defense wasn't ready because it was an intentional walk.
That's what I mean. I don't know how that happens, but it did. Texas walks away with the Game 1 win. And if they play tonight, Pledge had a weather radar up a minute ago, and it looked like a bunch of – I'm assuming, Pledge, that's Oklahoma. Is that correct? Okay. And it looked like there's a lot of rain over most of the state of Oklahoma and building.
Which is normal. It's June.
Yeah.
It's Oklahoma.
Well, it's pretty much most of the state.
Well, everywhere where all the action is.
That's true. So
all that farmland that needs rain to lose the drought's not getting any.
Well, it's not it doesn't look that bad. A lot of green. A few patches of red.
That is right this second.
Right. Now, where's Oklahoma City, Pledge?
Right
there. Huh? I know it's a great radio, but he's pointing right in the middle of it.
The yellow and red. They're bad storms. Softball delayed tonight.
Yep.
Basketball's indoors. It's good.
Now, this may be a knucklehead question, but
right.
Why are they playing this in Oklahoma City? Is it always played in Oklahoma City?
Yeah.
The softball is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So
and every year they have weather delays.
All right.
It comes with the territory.
Well, maybe they ought to think about moving that thing.
They got a great facility in
I'm
Oklahoma
sure they
City
do,
for
but
it.
it rains all the time. And thunderstorms, tornado warnings.
It adds to the excitement.
Yeah, I'm sure it does.
I mean, it's a great way to clean out the stadium. Just let the wind take all the hot dog wrappers and blow them down the street.
Well, I'm okay. I'm all right with that. That'd be just fine. But I'd like to see them play some softball. Although tonight, truth be told, even if they do, I'm not going to be watching it.
Second TV.
I don't have a second TV.
Get one.
I don't want to.
Get with the times.
I don't want to do that. I'm fine. I'll be watching some NBA basketball.
Go split screen.
I don't want to do that. I mean, all due respect to the ladies, I'll be watching some men's basketball tonight because it is game 1 of the NBA Finals, and that's what you have to do. You have to do that.
So, in other words, you haven't put any money on the Texas Tech softball game?
I did not bet on that series. I have bets on right now. I got a bet on the Pacers plus 9.5.
Okay.
And a bet on the under of 231.
Okay.
So there you go. Just so you know, I'm transparent. So everybody listening and watching on YouTube, when you're watching, you'll see poor old Joe. He lost his butt, or Joe's celebrating because he won.
So tomorrow you're going to know if Joe has a brisket sandwich from Barbecue Station, he won his bet. If he's having Dairy Queen tacos, he lost his bet.
Well, I don't know. What's more expensive?
It better be the brisket.
If I come in here with a ham or bologna sandwich, you'll know that I lost my bet. So
that can't be more expensive than DQ tacos.
If he brings me lunch, he won.
But Pledge, I'll bring you lunch. Just don't know what yet. It might be a barbecue sandwich from him.
He might make you a sandwich at his house.
Or maybe peanut butter and jelly for you.
Maggie made a sandwich for you. Just make sure she cuts off the crust.
Exactly. Cut it in half. Triangle-wise, not square-wise. You know what I mean?
Do you like the triangles?
Yeah, I like the, where they cut it in the corner.
Diagonal?
Yeah, not the side.
You don't like the straight square?
I mean, I'll eat it. I'm just saying I like it better when it's cut like that because it looks like bigger sides.
Does it taste better?
No, it doesn't taste any better.
It's just easier to put your chips on the plate.
That too. Yeah, because you can spread them out.
Yeah.
I agree. See, there's a method to all of this madness.
There's really not.
Every bit of it.
You don't even have to cut the damn thing.
It's very true.
So if you cut it in half, you can't make room for the chips?
No, you can. But you need to cut it in half. If you like it diagonal, great. If you like it in half, that's cool too. Either way, you got room for the chips in the middle. It's perfect. Just make sure the sandwich doesn't fall off the plate. All kinds of problems we got to deal with. Maybe the general can help. I wonder how he cuts his sandwich.
I don't think he does.
John McClain. He's going to join us next when we continue here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Let me tell you, though, about Stevens Roofing, speaking of roofs and bad weather and all of that. And here we don't have the bad weather that we're dealing with, that they're dealing with in Oklahoma City. But, it's going to get hot. It is June, and, boy, the hot weather is coming. It's just going to get hotter and hotter and hotter. And all of that can take a toll on your roof. And you want to make sure that roof is in good shape to begin with, right? If you got a problem, you want to get that taken care of before there are any other problems. And Stevens Roofing is the company to call to help you do that. Look, Stevens Roofing and Solar have been in business for a long time here in San Antonio. And they know what they're doing, obviously, because they got a long list of satisfied customers. You don't stay in business as long as they've been in business if you don't have a long list of satisfied customers. Stevens Roofing and Solar certainly does that. They're absolutely the best in the business. And right now, when you give Stevens Roofing a call at 210-785-0994, they're going to send a crew out to your house for a free, no-obligation roof inspection. Look, it's okay to just get it checked out to make sure that everything's all right. And they'll let you know if they think you need a new roof. They'll let you know that. If there's a minor repair or two, they'll let you know that as well. And they may come down and say, you know what, your roof is in excellent shape. Have a nice day. They'll do that as well. Best in the business, you can trust them. I certainly do. Call Stevens Roofing and Solar, 210-785-0994, or you can visit them online at stevensroofing.net to schedule your free inspection. Stevens Roofing and Solar, keeping your roof in top shape. Give them a call, 210-785-0994.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
Progressive knows there are some surprisingly expensive things in life, like fences. A house with a big yard and a white picket fence was always the dream. But then you saw the price to install a fence and you're wondering if the color is driving the price up. Nobody ever dreams of a beige or a gray picket fence, right? So maybe those fences are cheaper. But no, they're not. Then you remember that switching your home and auto to Progressive could save you hundreds and make all your dreams of a fence come true. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Looking for a place with character, cold drinks, and real Texas charm? Pull up a chair at the Lion and Rose in the Dominion. This local favorite, run by the Tharp family, serves up Southern hospitality, military pride, and seriously good food. Happy hour daily from 3 till 7 p.m. with $2.50 drafts, select wine, wells, and mimosas. Plus, tasty bites from just $5. Big screens, bold flavors, and a patio made for post-game hangs. Now open at 23330 West I-10. The Lion and Rose.
Mellow Mushroom has the best pizza in San Antonio. Mellow delivers the best pizza experience with their delicious dough, premium ingredients, and unique flavors. Delivering a higher order of pizza is the standard. If Mellow can make a pizza this delicious, imagine what they can do with munchies, greens, calzones, and burgers. Mellow Mushroom has San Antonio's best happy hour with food specials and half-off adult beverages. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 and Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom. Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
Bad weather in Oklahoma City. Looks like it's going to delay the Women's College World Series Game 2 tonight between Texas and Texas Tech. But the players have arrived at the arena for Game 1 of the NBA Finals. Lots to talk about, but we need to talk a little football. The General is here.
Yeah, John McClain joining us now on the Buyers Barricades guest line here on the Blitz on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. I want to talk about CJ and his shoulder, John, but let's start with Aaron Rodgers finally making a decision. Now, all your years covering the NFL, have you ever seen a player take this long and a team wait for a player to finally make a decision?
first of all, I don't give a crap about Aaron Rodgers. He went exactly where we all knew he was going. What I care about is the University of Texas at San Antonio.
There you go.
And I think we should have a moment of silence for the poor old Longhorns and that tough schedule they have to play in the SEC that didn't have them ready for a powerhouse like the Roadrunners. Beep, beep, and bleep, bleep.
Wow.
So congratulations to the University of Texas at San Antonio. I will always refer to them as that unless they beat Baylor like they did a few years ago. And yes, we all knew he was going to the Steelers. When the schedule had the Jets playing the first game against the Steelers, you knew they knew. He had an agreement, an unofficial agreement with them. He was going there. They let the NFL schedule maker know. Otherwise, they would not have had the Jets and the Steelers playing the first game. So great for him. It's one of the worst kept secrets in the history of sports at any level. And do I remember? I can't remember. Boy, one time, it wasn't this long. For the second year in a row, Brett Favre retired. And they were ready to elevate Rodgers before his second year. Then he came out of retirement. Then the next year, he said, "This is it. I'm done." And I know this is for a fact. Mike McCarthy, Ted Thompson, the GM, and another guy went to Kill, Mississippi, and to make sure that he was retired this time, he said yes. And Aaron Rodgers said, Mike McCarthy said in a team meeting, he was holding the football behind his back, and he said, "Guys, Brett has retired for good. It was a great career, blah, blah, blah. But Aaron, this is your team now," and tossed him the ball, and everybody cheered. Well, it was his team. And then guess what? Favre wanted to come out of retirement again. They told him sorry. He ended up with the Jets, and then he went to Minnesota, and I think he played, 3 or 4 more years. And but that was a long time. But I don't remember if it went up to training camp. But I don't remember anything else unless it was because of a player coming off an injury. I'd like to know when the Chargers dumped Drew Brees because of his shoulder injury after they had drafted Phillip Rivers, because Marty Schottenheimer wanted to keep Brees. A.J. Smith, the GM, he and Marty didn't speak, and they couldn't agree on what day it was, whether the sun was shining. And so I can't remember how long it was till Brees signed with the Saints, because Miami was going to sign him. And as Nick Saban always tells people, his doctors thought his shoulder was not going to come back. So they recommended Dante Culpepper, who had a bad knee. I'm not sure how long that went, but usually it's because of an injury or a contract holdout. But the contract, you're looking for a big deal. You're not going to get it that time of the year. We've seen a lot of contracts, but I've never seen a free agent wait this long, especially one of this magnitude.
Yeah, I think you're right, John. I think they had this in place, and the schedule makers knew, and it was just they're giving Rodgers because they didn't panic. When you got Mason Rudolph and Will Howard, I mean, and there was no panic out of the Steelers, so they knew all along, and, they just made fools out of all of us.
Well, you know that if they didn't know it, they would have gotten another quarterback.
Yes.
That's exactly it. I'm just thinking, that you swing a big one when you can have a team wait on you. And wait on you, and wait on you. So, and again, no surprise, Aaron Rodgers with the Pittsburgh Steelers. John McClain joining us here on the Buyers Barricades guest line. D'Amico didn't sound overly concerned about a shoulder injury, shoulder soreness for C.J. Stroud, but he's not throwing. I don't know why it's June. I'm a little concerned because I hear that and think, what's really going on?
Well, I watched him warm up, and he was throwing the ball. He didn't throw in team drills, and really OTAs are for the mental part. New offensive coordinator, an assistant line coach has been promoted. All anybody talks about is the offensive line. And the good thing about CJ not throwing the ball, we can talk about something besides the offensive line, which we've been talking about here more than anybody other than Aaron Rodgers. And D'Amico's playing it down, of course. He's there. And he hadn't said how he got it. One of the beat writers from the Chronicle said he got hurt. I can't remember where it was. He stayed in the game. And but still, if it's something that happened during the season and he's still not throwing, that's worrisome. If he gets to training camp and he's not throwing, that is scary.
Well, John, it's weird because, again, like Jason mentioned, it's June and you're really not doing anything. The season's been over for, 6 months? And for him still to have soreness in that shoulder, I don't know. I'm concerned about it. So I don't know if he did he bump into something, throw too much in the first OT? It's bizarre to me to think his shoulder is sore at this point in time in the year.
Well, he could have already shooting threes on a basketball court. There was video of him knocking down threes like an NBA player. He's a hell of a basketball player, hell of a shooter. And so D'Amico said he's not worried. If D'Amico's not worried, I'm not worried.
I guess that's fair if you take him at his word. But like in Indianapolis, Anthony Richardson, now granted, we know he's had some shoulder injuries, and his shoulder is sore, and they have shut him down to they're hoping, they no timeline, but they say hopefully back by training camp.
Yeah, hopefully. And Texans haven't said that. He said that he expects him to he didn't say expects. He said one of the things he did here, he said he'll be ready for the start of training camp. And the fact is, it's not helping him throwing to his new receivers. What does that matter? Hanging out with them and getting to know them and watching them run routes and where they like to break it off and talking to them on a daily basis. That's what's important. And even in training camp, when you can't cover them, it's different. What I can't wait for, they had 2 joint practices this year. One at Carolina and the other one, before they play a preseason. It's Detroit on the road. And I can't wait to see the joint practices. Preseason games are fine, but Stroud's not going to play in preseason. They're not going to show anything. It's going to be that first game against the Rams. But until people see him cut loose, it's going to be a constant source of speculation. And with Rodgers signing with the Steelers, we won't have anything else to talk about.
Micah's contract, when's that going to get done?
That'll get done later rather than sooner. Think about if they had signed him last year when everybody said they should have, you wouldn't have had Max Crosby at 33 and change and Garrett at almost 35. And right now, Micah Parsons deserves at least what Myles Garrett has. And it's just like Dak. They could have had Dak for so much cheaper. I guess Jerry does not care about how many more millions it's going to cost him by waiting. He doesn't care. I mean, his franchise worth over, you say it's worth over $10 billion. If he wanted to sell it, he might get double that because it's the Cowboys. And so he's going to pay him. And while we think it's going to be a lot of money to him, it's tip money. And they do contracts stranger than any team I can remember. And when it was Cincinnati would have holdouts, because they were just cheap. And that's not the way it is. The Cowboys, they're not cheap. They pay a lot of money. They pay their stars. They just overpay because when they could have done it a lot cheaper before.
All right, John, so I'll throw out this scenario then when it comes to Micah and some of these other players, because we've heard this before. I know Jason has said this before, that Jerry likes to keep that money that he's supposed to put in an escrow account in his bank account, so it's still earning interest, as long as he possibly can. Do you buy that?
It could be, because you've got to fund certain contracts like that. Maybe he's thinking about that. I don't know if he's ever been asked that. I can't imagine a guy whose franchise is most valuable in the world, and he makes a fortune. And it was funny because the Star ended up costing more than AT&T Stadium. And think if he sold it all, just put it on the market one day. The Saudis might come over here and turn professional sports in the NFL upside down. They already invest in the NBA, and maybe that's it. It wouldn't. So I wish somebody would ask him that question. When you guys are out at Thousand Oaks and you're getting cold every morning, and at night you're cold. And sometime when you're warm, like in the middle of the day, why don't y'all ask Jerry that question?
You know, we might when we're in Oxnard, because it's always hot in Thousand Oaks, but it does get cold in Oxnard. Now, in all fairness, it was Shireen Williams from Pro Football Talk who is the one that suggested that to us originally, that it's because, and I don't know if she's asked Jerry that or that just her thought, but that money, the guaranteed parts, goes into an escrow account, and Jerry's making interest on that in his, and those extra dollars that a player's getting is certainly there. John McClain joining us here on the Blitz, king of Houston media, and I've got a Houston media question for you. The reaction to Fox 26 sports director Will Kunkel getting let go today. He says in his social media post that the Fox affiliate there in Houston is doing away, cutting the entire sports department. Now, the TV station says in the Chronicle that they're not getting rid of sports. They'll cover it with news people. What's been the reaction for Houston media types to seeing what Fox affiliate's apparently doing?
Well, let me tell you what's going to happen, because I do 2 shows a week there, and I'm still going to do 2 shows, and I'm doing with a sports guy. And they're still going to cover sports. They got their camera guys out shooting things like they always do. Now, they say at the local level, not at the national level, they eliminated the sports director's job. And I predict in a few months, by the start of the Texans season, they'll have a new sports director. And I'll say this, Mark Berman, who's the best reporter I've ever seen, print or broadcast, he retired. Will Kunkel took his place, and those were big shoes to fill because Berman broke stories like nobody else, covered everything here, local stories, national stories, and that was a tough to come in that spot. And everybody wishes Will the best. He didn't have any idea. She was out at the OTA Wednesday the whole time. And but what he put out on Twitter that they were doing away with the sports department, he was confused.
Well, I mean, we've heard that maybe that were big shoes to fill, no doubt, because Berman was the best. I mean, that guy was outstanding. So you think they just maybe this is just a way to get rid of him, wait a little while, and bring somebody else in?
Well, that's the way you put it. That's not the way I put it.
Fair enough.
I gotcha. For more great insight, follow John on Twitter at McClain_on_NFL. John McClain, always appreciate it. We'll talk to you next Thursday. We've got minicamps to talk about.
Well, you won't talk to me Thursday unless you move it to Friday, because I'll be coming back from Key Largo, Florida, interviewing Jimmy Johnson for our documentary about the Prairie View and Scholastic League, high school football in Texas before integration, and he played at that time and got beat by the first integrated team to win a state championship, Corpus Christi Miller, and we're going to spend a day with Jimmy over there talking to him about that time period in high school sports.
Well, let's plan on next Friday.
Let's meet a Friday.
Yeah,
Friday's great.
Yeah, we'll put you on hold, and Pledge will figure out a time, and we'll get that done right now. Absolutely. It makes Joe's Friday show that much easier, because I'm taking every Friday off this summer. So I mean, why the hell not?
Why not?
John McClain and all our guests on the Buyers Barricades guest line, where they provide traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond. Online at buyersbarricades.com.
I want that on a T-shirt. What John said immediately when he started talking about UTSA, bleep, bleep, and beep, beep. I like that.
That could be a drop.
It could be.
That should be a drop.
Bleep, bleep, and beep, beep. Mm-hmm. And he was kind of giving those horns a little of the business.
Well, he's a Baylor type.
He is a Baylor type.
He's a Baylor type.
Wow, how about that?
He likes Baylor and anybody who beats Texas.
And that's fair enough. Fair enough. I tell you what, we got a lot to talk about. Game 1 of the NBA Finals. They are warming up there in Oklahoma City, but there are storms. We've got an update on when they may start the Women's College World Series Game 2. We'll talk about that when we continue here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
And of course, Game 1 is tonight. There's still some baseball to be played. You want to watch and make all that more exciting because you can win some cold, hard cash. Make sure you're playing the Pick'em game at Underdog. They score buckets. You can score cash on Underdog, one of the leading sports apps where you can play in Texas. Millions of fans have won billions of dollars making picks on Underdog. Why are you missing out? I can't wait to build my pick-em entry for tonight's Game 1. Love watching the games, and I love it when my entry's turning green, and then you see that deposited money show up in your account. Feels good, and it's easy. You just have to choose higher or lower on things like points, assists, rebounds, combinations of both. It's fun to play, so download the Underdog app, and you can play for as little as $1. Sign up, use my promo code STAR to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. Again, use promo code STAR at Underdog. Must be 18 plus and present in Texas. Terms apply. See underdogfantasy.com/web/deposit-match-terms. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Friday on the Morning Huddle, we made it. We'll celebrate appropriately. We got finals, we got hockey. What else we got?
Well, Rob, there's other sports in the world. We'll have Dick Girardi on talking about the Belmont Stakes and UFC pay-per-view this weekend. We'll hit it all. Don't worry, party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Morning 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Here in Texas, we know that trust is earned and reputation matters. Since 1993, Thomas J. Henry dedicated himself to building a firm that injured clients can trust and that Texans can respect. A firm where no defendant is too big and no case is too small. Backed by a track record of success and a commitment to our clients, Thomas J. Henry remains the name you can depend on if you have been injured. Trust the firm that stands for you. Trust Thomas J. Henry. San Antonio, Texas.
Hunger striking, snack time calling, it's crunch time. Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds brings you the boldest protein-packed crunch you can't resist with mouth-watering flavors like hot honey, sweet barbecue, and sea salt and cracked black pepper. Why settle for chips when you can level up your snacking game? Plus, they're low-carb, high-protein, and made for adventurous appetites. Score big flavor today. Grab Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds at H-E-B.
School's out, summer's in, and that vacation countdown is officially on. But what about your four-legged MVP? Bluebonnet Bunk and Biscuit in Selma has your furry family member covered. Daycare, boarding, grooming, and training, they've got it all. They're built for your pet's health, happiness, and tail-wagging good times. If you're in the military, your teacher, or your first responder, they've got barking good exclusive discounts. So go ahead, book that trip, hit the beach, crush your summer plans. Bluebonnet Bunk and Biscuit has your pet in good hands. Because home away from home isn't just for humans. Bluebonnet Bunk and Biscuits in Selma.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
At Progressive, we understand the bond you have with your boat. It's why people name theirs.
I was pretty hungry and looking at a menu when I named my boat Change Your Tuna. The backup names were Trick or Trout, I Salmonly Swear, and, oh, it gets worse, New Squid on the Block. It wasn't my best day.
Whatever you call your boat, protect it. And start with a quote from Progressive, America's #1 boat insurer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. #1 rating based on boat market share data from ratefilings.com.
Here in San Antonio in the Hill Country, our water is hard. It's harsh like some accents.
Hey, what's the matter with you?
Now that's harsh. At the same time, those that know have a Connecticut quality water softener and enjoy smooth, soft, pure, clean water like this.
Tú eres mi luz en la oscuridad.
Hard, harsh water.
Hey, use with the face.
Soft water.
El amor es como el agua que nunca se seca.
If you don't have a Connecticut water softener, you're basically inviting hard water into your home to beat up your appliances, hot water heater, and every pipe in your home. And if you can't live without your coffee maker, hard water damages it too. Call me for a free in-home water evaluation at 656-PURE.
For a limited time, get a free reverse osmosis drinking station, $400 off a trade-in, and 0% interest for 12 months. Call Connecticut of San Antonio in the Hill Country, 210-656-PURE.
Connecticut is simply the best water softener you can buy, and And that's why we say it's the last water softener you'll ever own.
License number 38961.
Hi, my name's Jason Thompson. I've lived in San Antonio for more than 50 years. Went to grade school, high school, and graduated from law school right here. San Antonians have trusted me as their attorney after serious injury and fatality collision since 1994. My website is alawyerforus.com. Why a lawyer for us? Well, after several years of practice, I watched as insurance companies created their own law firms solely to defend against auto claims. Today, there are very few insurance companies that do not have their own captive law firm filled with attorneys whose job is to minimize what the insurance company has to pay on an auto claim. If you or a family member is injured in a traffic collision, you will need your own attorney. Just remember alawyerforus.com. For many lawyers you see on billboards, your case will be handled by a non-lawyer or a staff lawyer. If you call me, Jason Thompson, I will be the lawyer you speak with. The initial consultation is always free. If you or a family member needs an experienced attorney you can trust, I want you to call me, Jason Thompson. My number is 900-0400. That's 210-900-0400 or alawyerforus.com.
All right, Jason, got a little bit of an update on the Women's College World Series Game 2 before we get started. It is they're not going to let the crowd in at this moment in time until 7 o'clock, and the earliest possible first pitch is 7:45. So that's right now, and that's obviously due to weather at this point in time. So that's the latest.
And weather will not affect the NBA, although fans going into the game, although I imagine if you got finals tickets, you've already planned on going early. And if you live in Oklahoma City, kind of like here, you know when storms are happening, what roads are going to suck, get there early. And it's the finals. You're there early for all the activities. And unless there's a power outage in Oklahoma City, it shouldn't have any impact on the game.
Well, what sucks, if you'll remember, and I'm sure you do, Oklahoma City, they got a nice, there's a bunch of tailgate stuff going on outside, so that might be ruined. But other than that.
The good news is you're getting a free T-shirt when you go in the building, so it doesn't matter if you get wet.
Get wet doesn't make any difference. Not at all.
Not at all. Seether and Daughtry. Pledge put up on the screen he was coming back with Seether and Daughtry, but we had the normal Metallica. Here we go. Seether and Daughtry, POD, also on the bill at the 713 Music Hall in Houston on November 12th. You can't even buy tickets for this show until 10 a.m. tomorrow.
Wow.
But you can win them right now.
How about that?
Caller 12. Do you think Aaron Rodgers will get 12 from Terry Bradshaw?
I think he's going to be number 8.
I know, I'm kidding. Terry Bradshaw is not overly thrilled.
Bradshaw hates that guy.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he doesn't like him at all.
Caller 12, 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. Seether, Daughtry, POD, 713 Music Hall on November 12th.
Although I'd love for Rodgers to have the balls to call Bradshaw and say, Terry, how much would it cost?
Can I wear 12 for my final year in the NFL?
Yeah, Terry might go for, it'd have to be a big figure, but maybe 10 M's.
I thought you were talking about Terry's waist size now.
No, it's bigger than 10 M's. It's a lot bigger than that. Wow. Joe's toes.
What? The hell is that?
They're not fat.
What?
My toes aren't fat.
It's hard. Yeah, it's definitely hard.
Oh, my goodness. I don't know. Terry's a big boy. I got to see him. It's been about a year ago or so. I'm not sure, but he's out at the Salvation Army, one of their luncheons that they had.
Yeah.
He was the speaker out there, and I kind of emceed that thing. And MC's kind of a weird way, but I got to interview him sitting there in facility, and it was great. He's a nice guy.
Terry Bradshaw's super nice. I haven't seen him in person in years, but just the friendliest dude.
Yeah.
And part of me wants to hate him because he wore those yellow pants.
Yeah.
And, it's weird, kind of like the earlier discussion in the show, which you can go back and watch on YouTube or listen on the podcast, but, sports hate.
Yes.
And, growing up, Terry Bradshaw was one of those guys that I just always hated because he was with the Steelers. It's kind of like Dwight Clark. Dwight Clark in The Catch.
The Catch.
Was in 1981.
Broke your heart, didn't it?
And that's the first time I really understood sports hurt, right? And then you wonder, why do we do this to ourselves?
I know it.
You know, like the Pacers fan base or the Thunder fan base, they're going to be devastated at the end of this series. You know, you get this close, and then it's gone.
Yeah, and that's tough. That's tough. And it was Draymond Green the other day said, sometimes it's better to lose in the first round than to lose in the finals. I don't know about that, if that's true, although he's had the experience of doing that. But, I mean, there is only one team standing. It doesn't matter what sport you're in. So the team that finishes second is disappointed.
Well, it sucked. And think about what Draymond Green said. And you hear that and you go, but from a player perspective, you know, the money that you get for playoffs isn't enough, right, to make anything feel better. You lose in the first round, cool. You lose in the finals, that's devastating, and you've lost 4 weeks of your summer. Right? I mean, honestly,
true,
right?
True.
And for what? I mean, the devastation that goes with it, because you don't get anything for finishing second. You win the thing, and you get all the celebrations and the parties all off season. When you lose, it's like, all right, pack your stuff and locker clean out, and it's just devastating. And all you did was work an extra 4, 5, 6 weeks, and so you get a shorter summer. You know, if you're going to lose in the first round, I'm thinking, I guess I understand what you're saying, but that sucks. But it sucks to lose in the championship.
I get what he's saying, but if you're Oklahoma City or Indiana right now, you're not thinking about losing.
No.
Right? So you're thinking about winning this thing, and so you have to get there to have that opportunity. And unfortunately, for one of these teams, it's going to come down to a big disappointment. So that's the way it goes. By the way, Jay, speaking of the NBA Finals, that line has gone up to 10.
10.
It was 9.5. That's where I took 9.5. I may have to go back in and take it at 10.
At 10. Well, you know where all the money is going.
Yeah, they're going on OKC.
And you look at Oklahoma City in game one tonight. I've bet on Oklahoma City all year. I'm not going to change now. If I were to make a bet on the Pacers, it's only because it would be money.
Right.
What I want and what I think will happen are two different things. I want a good, competitive, long series. I don't think that's going to happen. I think Oklahoma City in 6, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's 5. And I kind of want the 6. I'd love a 7th game. Could you imagine?
Oh, my gosh.
Just because I want more basketball.
There's nothing like a Game 7, especially in the NBA Finals. Look, I certainly hope it's not a sweep, and I don't even want a gentleman's sweep. 6 games, okay. Give me 6 games, and I'll be happy. Competitive basketball, and I'll be okay with that. I love a Game 7, but if I can get 6 out of this series, I'll be a happy camper.
Do you think, because all the coverage is all just Oklahoma City's going to roll.
Yep.
Do you think it would be any different if New York was playing?
No, I don't.
Because Oklahoma City is that good. They are that deep, offensively, defensively. Indiana is a great basketball team, except for when you do the side-by-side comparisons. What does Indiana do better than Oklahoma City? Nothing.
Well, maybe shoot the 3 better. That may be the only thing, honestly. They may shoot the 3 a little bit better than OKC. But you live by that and you die by that. The only team coming out of the East, if it was full strength, would be Boston, I think. That you might say, okay, Oklahoma City's not going to roll through these guys. That might be the only team coming out of the East.
Well, and again, I think until Boston was out, I thought it'd be Oak City and Boston in the finals and Oklahoma City win. I think that you're right. That would have been the most competitive. Denver, and I don't know what to make of Denver because Denver played Oklahoma City better than anybody. That might be, when it's all said and done, depending on what happens in this series, the best series that we had this NBA playoffs, East or West. And Denver, they fire Mike Malone right before the end of the season. Makes you wonder so many things, what was going on and how good would have Denver been if Mike Malone was there, or were they as competitive as they were because he was gone?
Yeah, that's a good question, and we'll never know the answer to that question. But you got to give Denver credit. They gave OKC more stuff than anybody else has been able to do.
And you look at Denver, if Denver were playing Indiana, I think everything you're hearing essentially about the Thunder you would hear about the Nuggets against the Pacers.
Absolutely.
And the West teams in the postseason, outside of Boston, healthy, are just far better than the teams coming out of the East.
Isn't that weird? And it's been that way for a while. The West is just so much better than the East. It's crazy. I don't know how that competitive balance gets back, but right now it's just not there.
It's not. Game 1 tonight. Are you doing a show pledge? Right after Extra Innings with Pledge, all your coverage, all the NBA Finals games here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. You know what we do every Thursday about this time?
The Blitz wants you to know what's on tap. Presented by Sam's Burger Joint.
It is time to get ready for the weekend. We call it What's on Tap, and it is brought to you by Sam's Burger Joint online at samsburgerjoint.com. They have the Peterson brothers out there tonight. Tomorrow night, Rhett Miller doing a solo show. Sean McConnell is playing there Saturday night, so I'm going to guess James Pledger will be out there Saturday night. Chris Knight is there on Sunday, and if you're planning ahead, next Wednesday, the Dead Deads will be on stage at Sam's Burger Joint.
The Dead Deads. You know, these names, boy, they just get weirder and weirder. Green Hall tonight, Nate Burnham is playing out there. If you want to go to the Aztec Theater, it's D-Baby, Ms. Salazar Tour. The Majestic Theater has Moulin Rouge, the musical. Out at the Tobin Center tonight, the concert, a tribute to ABBA. Can I leave early? Do you mind?
You want to go see an ABBA tribute band?
No, I don't. LOL Comedy Club, Michael Yo! And out at Wolf Stadium tonight, Missions versus the Midland Rockhounds.
Who's at LOL?
Michael Yo!
Friday night, Tyler Halverson is at Green Hall. Stable Hall at the Pearl has Boots in Beats, a country and EDM concert. I got questions. I got so many questions. Is this one band pledge? Do you know anything about this?
I think it's DJs.
Oh, it's
DJs.
DJ.
Oh, okay.
So it's not a band. Well, I mean, the EDM part is DJs, but is there a DJ guy and then a banjo guy and a fiddle guy? Because you know what they say about playing country music in Texas, right?
Gotta have fiddle in the band.
Do the country girls get their best EDM outfits?
What are they better than boots and short skirts?
Yes.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Boeing Center at Techport has Team Combat League. Dallas against Philadelphia. Go Dallas.
And,
San Antonio against Houston.
Go SA.
Absolutely. The Griefs are at Paper Tiger. Blue Star Brewing has Misha Elise. Vibes Underground has Taken by Tides. And that Yo dude is still at LOL Comedy Club. Yo!
Yo, Michael!
Think that's his real name?
I have no idea. It might be. Green Hall on Saturday night. Red Shahan is playing out there, if you know who that is. Boeing Center at Techport, Pro Box TV Contender Series. Justin Paldo taking on Juan Carlos Burgos. Out at Floor Country Store on Saturday night, them Dirty Roses are out there.
What?
Yeah, them Dirty Roses are out there. At the Moody Center on Saturday night, you got the Monster Jam with all the big trucks and all of that kind of stuff. Paper Tiger, this would be entertaining to go see, honestly. Emo night.
Mm-hmm.
Just to see the get-ups and all of that stuff. Yo is at the Comedy Club again. He's there for 3 nights, that dude. He must be funny.
Must be.
Upstage Comedy, Stoner Rob.
From the morning show?
Stoner
Rob. From the morning huddle?
Yeah, from the morning huddle.
Go heckle Stoner Rob. Wonder if he would even notice.
He wouldn't notice. He wouldn't care.
Sunday, the Jesse Jennings Band is out at Green Hall. Monster Jam at the Moody Center. Tobin Center has the Righteous Brothers.
Nice.
Superhero Sunday is happening at the Rocket Lock on Terra. James Pledger will have his Iron Man costume on. He goes full getup for these kind of things. Yo's not at LOL on Sunday. Somebody named Cactus Tate.
Yo, Cactus Tate. Hey, Monday out of Green Hall, Alan Hendrickson. It's his birthday bash, apparently. And then the ACL Live on Monday has James Arthur with the Army, the Navy. Now, I'm not sure what that is.
I don't either. Go Navy.
Interesting.
Beat Army.
Yeah.
2 tons of two tons of steel for 2 Ton Tuesdays at Green Hall on at Tuesday night.
That's always good.
Tobin Center has the Addams Family.
Nice.
And the Majestic Theater has the Wiggles bouncing balls tour.
The balls wiggle. That's nice.
I don't know if the Wiggles can have bouncing balls.
It either wiggles or it bounces. One of the two. I don't know.
Oh, Wednesday. Wait, Pierce the Veil is going to be at the Moody Center on Wednesday?
Wow, you going?
Maybe. It'll be a good show.
Pierce the Veil.
Rockbox has In Her Own Words.
Wow.
I don't know. Pierce the Veil on
Pierce
a Wednesday.
On a Wednesday.
Can't do that on a school night.
No, you can't. Of course not.
I got plenty of vacation time. Maybe. Maybe.
Oh, good stuff. Good stuff. NBA Finals Game 1 coming up here after Extra Innings with James Pledger. And, of course, you can hear all the NBA Finals games right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. So, Indiana hang tight, or is OKC blow them out tonight?
Blowout.
So I'm going to lose? Is that what you're telling me?
You're going to lose.
Well, at least if I can split. All right? Can I split?
Yeah.
Because I got the under.
Yeah.
All right.
114-91.
But aren't you laying 9.5 and 10?
No. I'm getting that. I'm getting those
No,
points.
but laying money on both of those.
Well, I haven't done 10 yet, but I might do that. But, Minnick's over here scaring me.
Chase good money after bad. Why not?
He's saying a blowout. I'm saying, but
114-91.
When do I ever listen to Minnick's? Never. So I doubt I'll listen
Would you
to
like
him
to
tonight.
have our beer bet tally revealed?
Exactly. We haven't had one of those in a while.
Oh, it's because you quit buying beer.
Well, it's about time. I think it's about time. We'll have to come up with something.
All right, I got Oklahoma City.
To win?
The series.
I'm not doing that. No. And I'm not doing that. Okay, Pledge? You read my lips. Not doing that.
Wussy.
Okay, exactly. I am a big wussy. Yo, thanks for listening to us today on San Antonio Sports Star. We appreciate it. Extra Innings with Pledge coming up next. We'll see you tomorrow.
This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, KTFM Floresville.
Ahead of the field and throws it down with a right hand.